Came agonisingly close, didn't he, to winning back in 2012. Got himself in a great position and then bogeyed the last 4 holes to let in Ernie Els at Lytham.
I remember that only too well. That really hurt.
That's fine. That's in good shape, actually. A nice angle into that flag, which is on the back left of the green.
On the tee from Japan, Kita Nakajima.
I tell you what, this is another young man to look out for. He had a glittering amateur career, and it hasn't taken him too long to establish himself in the pro game either. He's won in Japan, both as an amateur and as a professional. He's now on the DP World Tour at a fearsomely difficult course, I should say, over in India.
Cheers, David. Have a top day.
Turned 44 earlier this week. Adam Scott nearly gave himself the best of birthday presents with victory at the Renaissance Club, pipped in the end, of course, by Bob McIntyre. What a sensational finish it was from him. Bob will be out later today. I think he's shaken off the hangover. They had some celebration after that victory, and why not? That's how it looks at the top. It is Japan leading the way.
Here he is, coming out the thick rough here, Kinoshita.
This part of the world, I mean, generally when it gets to the afternoon and the evening, that's when the wind can tail off and die, and that does appear what is going to be happening. So you always see a couple of really good scores from the late starters. So I think, yeah, you've got to wait around. Yes, you've got to be patient, and you know, you've got to be twiddling your thumbs all day, but once you get out on the course, there could be some opportunities there. So it's just a mixed bag, isn't it? I mean, you'd like to be out, you'd like to be getting going, but at the same time, if you can have an advantage by your start time, then that's a huge bonus.
So 6:35 this morning, Justin Leonard was teeing off with Todd Hamilton, 2 former champions, of course, and Jack McDonald, the local lad. My goodness, from Scotland. That's a big occasion for him.
Welcome, Jack. Look at that. Wow, 2 Open champions in the home crowd. Fantastic. And then I was actually not surprised, but the Open's fantastic for the fact that first grandstand is already full. Yeah, the crowds are already pouring in.
They arrive from sort of 5:45, 5:45.
I mean, the appetite for golf round here is so good. That's why when the Open Championship comes around, because you know, generally in the British Isles, you don't get these big major tournaments, maybe 2-3 times a year, where there's big crowds at big courses. So when the Open comes around, the amount of fans that pour in and the atmosphere already at this point in the morning is brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, I've just seen Justin Rose leave the range with his caddy, and Justin is off, if we look at our little list here, at 7:41. So in a few minutes' time, playing, excuse me, with Jasper Stubbs, the amateur, and Francesco Molinari.
Absolutely. I mean,
lovely group.
Oh, Francesco, what a boy.
I think I need a coffee, actually.
Crush.
If someone could get me a coffee, that'd be marvellous. I've only had 2 so far. Oh, good. One. Someone says they'll get me one, which is great. Justin Thomas is at the end, and who else is next to him? Matthew Southgate on the range, these early starters. The journalists are walking up and down. We've got the spectators arriving, quite a few in flamboyant gear, which we'll show you shortly. But really good to see this, the popularity of this sport and how much it's growing. But today, it's all about starting off in a steady way. You don't want to go out there and start with a couple of bogeys, do you? Or
no.
It's just difficult to get it back on that back nine. But, you know, the top players, those that win this Open Championship, have that consistency.
Yeah, and the mindset as well is going to be huge going out today, because even with the wind switching round a little bit, the front nine is easier. So if you go out with the mindset of actually attacking and not being too tentative, you can start to, you know, get your week off to exactly the correct manner, because you don't want to be tentative. You don't want to be overawed by the occasion. You know, a lot of these guys have won tournaments all over the world, but this is the Open. This is a major. You know, these are the ones that really, really matter. And if you can get off to a fast start, with this wind, you can maybe hold on a little bit easier on the back.
Yeah. We've got a former Open champion behind us. Zach. Good morning, Zach. Morning. Good to see you. Play well.
Yeah, thank you.
Good stuff. So many, honestly, this driving range is steeped with former Open champions, and you can join the conversation. Hashtag the Open Range. Send in your thoughts. Let us know what questions you would like answered. And Zach Johnson, my goodness, former Ryder Cup captain, Ryder Cup player, Open champion, still got it. He's within hearing range, I should say.
He's just dipped out. I mean, I wouldn't be rushing off to put an each way on him right now, but I mean, I don't think I'd have done that when he won the Open at St Andrews as well.
Oh, what a victory. Who knows? The Open is open to everybody, and he's certainly got the calibre to be right up there near the top of the leaderboard or at the top. Okay, George is at the other end of the driving range to where the players enter even. George, can you get me a coffee, and what are you doing?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Live at the Range and, of course, the round one of the 152nd Open. We're at the player arrivals, and look who it is. Team McIntyre. So, for those who haven't been there, which is actually us as well, this is our first time at this little station. This is where the players arrive, so they turn up in their Mercedes courtesy cars, and they have to come through here, scan straight in. And the great thing is about Royal Troon is that they've got the driving range in their right pocket, so handy logistically to get everywhere. So they also come out here to go to the first tee as well, so it's a busy little area, so it could be a chance to see some more golfers. But throughout the day, obviously there's golf in play now, so we're in the serious end, the business end of the week. So I'll still be roving around, but we're going to take you to some more secret spots. And as they come through here, they have to pop through security. Got these fancy little scanners that get you in. Morning, gents. Morning, gents. Is that all good? Yeah. Oh, brilliant. My fake ID's working. Great stuff. And then look at this. Straight into the Open Clubhouse. An amazing player facility here. Range on the left. All as easy as you like. And look who you get to see as well. Some of the best in the business. Let's go enjoy some golf.
Thanks, George. Thank you. I think John Daly has the best trousers on the driving range right now. Do you?
It's personal taste. But you
Always
certainly,
flamboyant.
You certainly won't miss him.
No.
Will you? I mean, I think the local insects might be buzzing around him trying to get some nectar, but...
I've played a round of golf with John at the London Club in Kent, and we had the best round of golf. It was brilliant. 5 hours of pure entertainment from John, giving me some top tips. We sat down on tee boxes waiting because it was a bit of a slow round, and just telling me about that 1995 Open Championship victory. I mean, what a story within golf, coming through as a qualifier.
Again, I mean, the Open is a special event because it throws up stories like John Daly.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he went on to, win another major. He's had a fantastic career, but this is what catapulted him into that huge spotlight. And for all these guys on the range, they'll have watched that. They know these stories, and that's what they're going to be dreaming of. Not specifically being the next John Daly, because there's only one John Daly.
Yeah.
But they can have this moment in history, and it can set the rest of their lives up. And, John's not playing a load of competitive golf right now, but because he is a champion, he can come back here every year and he's a fan favourite. He's going to be taking a lot of people around with him and just creating more stories as we go.
Yeah, you can hear cheers actually already from over there. I mean, someone's definitely got a birdie. He didn't have to qualify for the Open Championship. He was a wild card for the PGA, wasn't he? But just incredible what he's done for the game of golf and how much he's grown the sport.
Yeah, and he's someone that the fans love because he has a personality.
Yeah.
He allows himself to be a little bit more of an open book than a lot of the guys out here. And that's what the sport needs. We need people who, you might not agree with everything that they do, but at least they're being their genuine selves.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely what most people want to see.
What do you like about his game?
I mean, it's something about John, because obviously he gets a lot of maybe criticism for the way that he's gone about, not being the most professional golfer, very much in quotation marks. But we're looking at one of the most naturally talented golfers of our generation. His swing hasn't really changed over the years too much. It's still the same basic action, might got a little bit shorter. But the actual underlying technique and the ability to hit the ball, this was one of the longest players in the game. He was a player who really brought into sharp contrast the need to hit it so much further because of the advantage. And then he had just a delicate touch around the greens. Brilliant golfer.
Yeah.
Like, very, very underrated.
Can't wait to see what he does today on the links. OK, let's get to our commentary box. And for the first time today, say good morning to Simon Holmes. Good morning, Simon.
Good morning, guys. It's pretty exciting, isn't it? It feels like, you know, we've been waiting for this to go, and then finally the fireworks gone, the starter's gun has released the players, and the 152nd Open has kicked off. I'm in with Josh, Ant-Man. We were out pounding around this morning.
Yeah, morning, Simon. How are you? This is my favourite day of the year. This is first day of the Open.
Yeah, it feels like it's an anticipation that you get then released.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the buzz, to the silence of the first tee, not a sound.
It's an amazing first tee this year as well, don't you think? With everything to the right there, it's beautiful.
Oh, I think the R&A and then the staging is just fantastic. I mean, the fans are so spoilt for choice. How about that?
Speaking of fans, I think John Daly's going to get a big group following him today.
Yes.
He always does, doesn't he? He's an entertainer, John Daly.
He is an entertainer, but on the other side of that, he was really the first, like, really power hitter. So he was the power hitter who had a great short game. Now, he had some other sort of elements that probably didn't get him to maximize his abilities, but as far as the first golfer who brought power and precision, that's John Daly.
His short game, you mentioned it there, it's still absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Describe why his short game is so good, Simon.
Yeah, I mean, he just has so much variation of shots. You know, I can tell you where he learnt it. He learnt it on a baseball of diamond. So he used to pitch balls from where you hit to the first base, the second base, and the third base, and just used lots of different clubs. And that's where he learnt such great distance control. So he has the power, but he also feels so well the club face, so well the distances, you know, just huge sensitivities in there. We can just see here on the right side of your screen, that's the data that we can capture. That's the ball data. We use top tracer technology not only to show you the trajectory of the ball, sort of bringing the driving range to life here, but also just a flat carry number. So that's his carry, the ball speed, that's ball speed coming off the club face. Launches at degrees off the ground. The apex is feet from the ground. That's the highest point of the trajectory. Hang time and the curve. So Daly, I mean, that is still fluid, isn't it?
He's still the overswing as well is still there. For how old's John Daly now? You know, and the overswing is still there.
Yeah, I think he's like me.
58
like 50,
now. 58.
Okay, yeah, 58. So born 66. So yeah, amazing. So tons of speed. You know, not as practiced. Perhaps the fitness not as fit as he was, but very elastic. What we've done here, we've just put his shots out over onto the golf course. You can just see this is the first hole. So the first hole, interesting slow start into this, isn't it? Ferocious finish, but a false sense of security, perhaps, of those first few holes.
Yeah, I'd say the first 7 holes are easing everyone in. Then the postage stamp hits, and then you make the turn, and then you've got to start worrying. But long irons, I'm seeing a lot of players are taking long irons off the first tee as well.
Yeah, I think the problem with it is, so when you're playing these golf courses, you have to really factor that the pot bunkers that you see out on the fairway are kind of like water hazards. They're you're not advancing more than just a few yards. You just have to take your medicine, exit out to right or left, whatever you are. And so you're navigating your way, you're plotting your way around, avoiding those. And then the rough is juicy, Josh.
It's really juicy. It's juicier than I thought it was going to be as well. I saw Minwoo Lee, he teed off on the first. It went 3 yards off the fairway. Couldn't even see the ball. Couldn't even see it.
So you have to respect, even on the shorter holes, I think, the fact that the penalty for missing is probably a shot, right? And so that's why we won't see, even though the first hole is only 366 yards, you know, Rory hit one yesterday that was 345 carry. He could just hit it on the green, but I bet you that's not what he does.
Bryson went with drive and hit it through the green in practice.
Yeah, and you know, that's how Daly kind of played. You know, if you look at how Daly played, he just took it over everything. and shorten the course to such a degree. And if you're going to win, that's one of the things. You can have a very conservative strategy, hit amazing shots, but you're not going to get to the winning score because your strategy doesn't give you any birdie opportunities. You don't make any bogeys, but you don't make enough birdies. So let's have a look. Daly just moving the ball around there. Just a total shot maker. Just as soon as you see the launch there, that's his bullet shot. It's only 68 feet high. Probably for Daly, 90 feet's kind of a PGA Tour average.
Yeah.
So like sort of 30 yards, 90 feet.
Be interested to see here what his yardage is with driver.
Yeah, he's not
age,
that far off. He's not far off like a 290 carry. Let's have a look.
Let's let him warm up first, but
he was the longest of the long. So that's a little bullet one, just cruising it out there.
But that's a good shot to have around here at Royal Troon. That low driver,
yeah,
that is controlled and just runs out.
Yeah, and that's what he's trying to do. So look at the Daly swing. Look at the length and the beard. So these are just his bullet drives. 70 feet of apex. I'd say that's probably 30 feet to 40 feet lower than his launch ball. But that's why he came over. I mean, think of Daly's career. Won the USPGA.
I mean,
he won
that's
the
one
Open.
the Open at 95 against Rocker was just for me, one of the most memorable Opens, obviously because of Rocker on the 72nd hole.
Yeah.
But Daly beat him fairly easily in the playoff, I think, by 4 shots.
Yeah. And it's interesting because Daly's was really guided through how to play St Andrews by guys like Payne Stewart because he was part of the Dunhill Cup.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? Remember Johan Rupert's major event there where you had 3-man teams. Now it's a Pro-Am, but it gave a glimpse of Links Golf Course.
So, sorry, I do love that John Daly just hit 3 drivers and that's it. That's enough for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. There's a lot of times earlier in his career he would sidestep the driving range. He wouldn't even show. First shot of the day be the first tee shot. So great to see John Daly back. Great to see the fans pouring in.
Good, this. I would say to anyone who wants to come to the Open or any golf event, a major, I love sitting on the range for half an hour in the stands, just watching, especially on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
It is, I think, for me, one of the best seats in the house.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you're a non-golfer, just to watch the authenticity of the competition of the live sport. So Matteo Manassero, there's his tee time, 8:14, sort of a man in a second part of his career. Josh?
I think one of the stories of the year for me, Matteo Manassero, from where he started winning the BMW to then when he dropped so far down, and the comeback he's made this year, winning in South Africa, for me, it's one of the great stories of the year. And such a nice man as well.
Oh, a lovely, lovely guy. And you know what? He chased speed. That was his problem. He wasn't a powerful player. We knew him when he was about 14. And he went out there and he chased speed, and he bulked up, and he got into all sorts of problems, and now he's under the caring hands of Soren Hansen, who's looking after a lot of guys there. Soren, Ryder Cup player, one of the best ball strikers. Just on the left side of your picture under the umbrella, that is rain. That's not a good sign.
No, that's just started, everyone, as well. So
yeah,
the
when we were walking in here, it was chilly but decent.
Exactly.
Now it's rainy. John Daly goes to the range, goes to the first tee. We wish him luck. Now Matteo.
His swing looks so balanced, Simon.
Yeah, but it's
so
not
balanced,
forcing
controlled. No, it's controlled.
It's controlled. And around here, think about what Brian Harman did. He beat, David beat Goliath last year, right? All of the Goliaths, the power hitters, were pounding up at him. And Harman with his precision, which is what you can have around links. There's so many different ways to play it. That's why it's such a charming thing. It was interesting what Di said in her opening chat to us. There was a study from HSBC, one of our kind of steel strands of sponsors in the golf world. We thank them for all of their support. Has shown that golf is the most unpredictable individual sport, and that the Open is the most unpredictable of all the golf's majors.
But I think that's why we love it, though. We like unpredictability in sport, not knowing what's going to happen next, who's going to win,
And what are the,
until
what
the
are the
very last
elements
shot.
that you have to factor in there? Why is it such? Why is the Open much more unpredictable than the Masters? What are the factors?
I would argue the rain that's just coming in right now is one of the things.
The draw?
The draw is a massive one as well.
Right.
As you heard Pete say earlier on, the wind could change 4 times during the day.
Yeah.
And depending where you are, you might just get lucky, you might get incredibly unlucky.
Yeah. But I think that's why, you know, it does feel at the beginning here, okay, I don't think everyone's got a chance to win, but everyone has hope.
Of course. If you don't have hope, you've got nothing, Simon.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. So
Yeah.
the Open...
I think that's why Manacero is such a great story, because he always had hope.
Yeah.
And now look at him. Now he's back at the Open Championship.
Yeah, Soren Hansen. Very, very impressive turn from player to coach.
Got
and
a big
what
stable now, Soren.
Great, yeah. And Peter Hansen.
Yeah.
Looking after Ludwig. Aberg.
I think he just if he just looks after him, I think Pete will do all right, you know.
Yeah,
I've got a feeling.
Fantastic guy, Peter Hansen. But it's great to see those two guys kind of like, you know, that flow of knowledge. That's a part of the game. People are so generous. Like you see, you know, Tiger Woods has been helping Rory. Tiger Woods has been helping Jason Day. He's helping Justin Thomas. It's like, you know, there's a generosity. I think that's what we find in the game of golf is the game's bigger than anyone.
Always, of course. These people braving it with the shorts at the moment in this weather.
Oh, umbrella down. That's a good sign. So, Matteo, let's have a look at his swing. So,
not a big backswing, Simon. Not a big, massive turn, is there?
No, he's
compared to John Daly, it's like the opposite.
A little bit more steady, a little bit more stable, a little bit more science in there, perhaps. Let's have a look. So, just under tour average. 173 is kind of the average ball speed for a PGA Tour player. Yeah, wet golf balls and wet club faces in today's world is a really bad combo. That adds another element to it. So let's have a look. Stable base, pushing into that left heel. A little bit more about the geometry, but good flow to the movement there. I like the balance. Look how he can hold his finish.
Got an interesting little trigger movement, hasn't he, as well, with his hands just before
that little push.
Yeah, just a little push.
See what he's trying to do through the ball. So, but watch his finish here. Into that left heel. And push into that left heel. So you want to feel like your right side kind of pushes past your left side and your left side supports you.
I don't think it's this club, Simon, that's been the issue. It's if we're not on the putting green here, but Manacero's gone through a few different putting grips recently.
Yeah.
And he's found something that he likes. It doesn't look too orthodox, but he's found something that works.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of scar tissue. I think
Massive,
that's the problem, isn't it? So, getting ready to go, not long now.
Soren they won't be doing too many technical things here, Simon, I guess. But on a Thursday morning of a major championship, as a coach, what are you talking to your player about?
I think you're just trying to get the sameness going. So organize the mind is probably more than anything else. Is to say, okay, listen, so answer any questions that he's got, like, am I on the right track here? Is this the right feel? If I do this, is it from that? You're just trying to get a really good diagnostic toolkit so when you go out into tough conditions, you're ready.
On the tee. She's staring this one down, and for good reason. Look at this. Just delightfully done. She's on top of the world. Going directly at the hole. Tell you what, go on. Oh, get in there.
There's something about the AIG Women's Open.
Oh, my goodness.
We are live at the range Thursday morning.
I know.
First players have gone out there. Next group out, 8:03. That is Nick Taylor, the Canadian, Matt Wallace, and Laurie Cantor. Laurie Cantor, fantastic driver of the
What
golf
a talent
ball.
Laurie Cantor is.
A talent.
Yeah, he's insane. He won,
What a talent.
won a few weeks ago. Quite an emotional win that was for Laurie, but he is so talented. It's pretty scary, Laurie.
Yeah, and a lovely guy.
Yeah.
Got to say, absolutely charming man. So wish him well.
That's a good group, that, by the way. Nick Taylor and Matt Wallace.
Yeah, it is interesting. And then, so beautiful scenes on the driving range. This is the bird's eye view. This is where the gallery sits. It's been a very busy stand, hasn't it, Josh? And then this is our minion cam.
Worm's eye camera.
It's a great view because it's a view you never really have.
Yeah.
You don't ever see shots come over, but it's interesting to see how the body moves and the players move. So that's been the range, and we've also been live out on the golf course. Take you through kind of like a gentle opener. This is the first. Josh, take us through it.
Yeah, so it's, as you say, a very gentle opener. Relatively straightforward, this hole. It is, as you see it. But as I said, if you stray slightly right here, especially, that rough down the right-hand side is very juicy, and a lot of it is long. You've got these bunkers on the fairway. They're ready to gobble up anything that strays.
Yeah, first
and it'll
bunker,
give
254, isn't it? So it's just playing
exactly,
back of that.
exactly, yeah. And again, depending on the wind today as well. Usually this is downwind, this hole. So the likes of, you could get driver there. If you want to be, you could get driver, as Bryson did in practice.
Second, again, only 389, but look at the fairway. So the first bunker on the right you see there, that's only 186. That's not coming into play for this competition, but you need to be able to navigate those two bunkers on the right. They are 263. Most guys are going to play short of those and use that right angle, the angle from the right side to come in. And you can see the two big bunkers on the right. There'll be a lot of back pins back right. That's the most difficult pin.
I love the bunkering on this hole on two. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah,
it really is.
Just like little bullets straight down, aren't they? So the third hole, Josh.
You got the burn here on the third hole, on the middle of the fairway. So down the right-hand side is an ideal tee shot. Again, these bunkers on the left, ready to gobble up anything that strays. But it is a really good birdie chance, this, for the players. If you're under par for the first few holes, especially in the conditions at the moment, I think the players will be very happy, Simon.
Yeah, you need to get a score. There is a sense of that. Short game going to be so important. We believe that our friend George Harper Jr. has found some action. George, are you there for us?
Hello, Simon. How are you?
Oh, George, I'm good, mate. I'm kind of buzzing. It's an exciting morning, isn't it?
Yeah, there is a different energy out here. It's so exciting to actually see some balls in the air and some golf underway. But I'll tell you what, it is nippy. It's not Scottish cold, but it's certainly getting colder every minute, and the rain's just starting to peter down. So you're in a good seat in there, Simon.
We'll send you some sandwiches or something out there, George. Don't you worry. Call in, we'll get you whatever you need.
Yeah, nice cup of tea. But look, at the end of the day, we do have a really good seat here as well. We're right in the pocket of Joaquin Neiman, who I'm not sure you guys realise, but he got a hole-in-one on the 5th earlier in the week on the practice round. So it's very, very well done. And then we've got John Daly. I know he's made the coverage a bit this morning in the background. He's honestly missed every single putt I've watched. So lucky he's a former champion golfer of the year. We've got Chris Kirk, Christian Bezadenhout, but I guess, Simon, throughout the day and everyone at home, we're going to be popping here, there and everywhere, and the putting green is where you can really feel the intensity lift. They've got a few less drills. Throughout the warm-up days, they're doing so much technical things, and there's gizmos, there's gadgets. Phil Kenyon's always floating around, but now it's just getting into the groove and into tournament mode. So a lot less technical stuff and more get the rhythm, get that stroke working, because at the end of the day, it's the putter that they need to go well, isn't it, Si?
There's just way less noise, isn't there? There's something, it's like the casual chat of the practice ends abruptly, doesn't it? And when the gun goes, there's a silence and a tension that come together. You feel that down there, George?
Yeah, absolutely, and especially for a motor mouth like myself, I feel like I have to bring my volume levels down, which is extremely difficult for someone like me. But yeah, they're certainly in the zone, and everything's on the line. This is, at the end of the day, the biggest event in the world. This is what they've all come to play for, and this is what everyone builds up to. The last major of the year. It sounds weird when you say that, the last major of the year. Already had 4 of them, so. But yeah, I don't know, it's a great little atmosphere. A lot of undulations on this putting green, so hard to find a flat spot, but yeah, there's tension in the air and also a few raindrops.
You know what I love as well there, Simon, is that everyone coming through the gate is right there by the putting green. So you get as a player, you must get the atmosphere, and everyone kind of, you can feel it building.
Oh, it's the crowd that gives, it's the fans.
Of course.
It's our viewers and the fans that give the gravity to such an event. The tension, the really authentic tension, the competition, that's something that is, that the Open delivers. You know, that's why there's magic.
Now, Zach Johnson going for a cardigan, Simon. Now, I like a cardigan on a golf. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I'm into that. I like the cardigan, and I think, you know, that's interesting. The little thing on the hip there, on his right hip. That's the sort of thing you used to get from your grandma at Christmas. Sort of like a typical useless grandma drill gift, right? And you're like, oh, thanks, Grandma. That's brilliant. But Zach's got a little groove cleaner.
There's a few of them with it now, I've noticed. Yeah, I think Griot has it. Emiliano Griot has one.
There it is.
That ball flight has never changed, Simon, has it, for Zach Johnson?
But I mean, Zach Johnson, I mean, how's this? Masters champion wins the Open at St Andrews. I mean, that's the golden duo.
His CV is more than decent, Simon.
Ryder Cup captain. So, Zach, characteristic, playing off of really strong grips, which means sort of just basically holding the club face very closed in his hands.
That left hand is so far over, isn't it? And the right hand under.
Yeah, but almost like a Brian Harman kind of a player in that sense. Sort of very gritty, very, very good with his 160 odds and in. Didn't really make any mental mistakes. And under pressure, you can see that left hand really got a lot of angle, lots of knuckles. We can see there the FootJoy sign nearly up to the sky. And there's the absolutely useless gift on his hip there. That's a groove cleaner.
He's won 12 times on the PGA Tour, Zach Johnson, you know.
Yeah.
And with the major, he's had such an impressive career.
But I mean, how many chances you would have to call him a medium hitter, at best a medium hitter. In the modern era, the medium hitter might only have 2 or 3 events that he could have a pick up.
Exactly.
John Deere, he was always good at that because that was a precision course. The Masters was a very strange victory in a sense because it was such a wet year that no one could really go for the greens. But I think he was 13 under for the par 5s, which is amazing, right? So absolutely exceptional with his wedges.
You know when his last win was? The 2015 Open.
Yes.
His last victory.
I know, that's amazing, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Look at the modern era. You just don't really have a chance. I mean, Hilton Head, a medium hitter.
Yeah,
it's like
Heritage,
a Furyk.
yeah.
Furyk is the same. Luke Donald was a little bit the same. Yeah, I don't know if is that the game going in the right direction? There's a question mark over that. You know, are we only now seeing kind of a one-dimensional winner? Is it only going to be the power players?
I would say that's the thing maybe in America more than in Europe. In Europe, you get a lot more courses where you have to think, well, on the DP World Tour anyway, you have a lot more courses where you have to be strategic and think a lot more, and you have to be creative.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear what Bryson DeChambeau was saying about his love affair with links golf, which is evolving. He said, listen, I'm getting it. I'm understanding it better and better. And I love the creativity. I feel like, you know, the courses that he plays on his tour are really kind of like super one-dimensional, right? Only in hot countries, only on a certain type of golf course. And so he's relished this. I think he's really grown and sort of, he's been a fan favourite this week on the driving range.
He's one of my favourites. He's absolutely captivating, Bryson. I love listening to him talk about golf, about anything. And he genuinely enjoys it as well.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. And I don't know if you get the chance, if you missed it, he did a piece in Sky's Open Zone with Nick Doherty, which is fascinating to watch.
I've watched it 5 times.
Yeah, fascinating to watch. I think Nick Doherty really kind of got so much out of him, guided him, and helped us understand how Bryson uses the technology in such a positive way.
Yeah, he does, absolutely. He's got that bulge now in his irons as well, which is not even heard of. He's the first to do a lot of things, Bryson, in the modern era, and that's why I think he's great for the game.
Yeah, no, it was a very, very good piece.
Dana, his coach, is fantastic as well.
Dana Dahlquist is really like, you know, and the technology they've got of being able to measure the combinations of movements and the shifting of the pressure, and just an app on your phone, and then there's like a magic which makes it to an avatar. Really, really impressive. So we are looking at Zach's top tracer technology. He is making sure his grips are on properly. She's hopefully...
You know what's interesting when we talk about Bryson and compare him to Zach Johnson? Zach Johnson, I mean, you had Manacera earlier. Zach Johnson has never tried to change his game, has he? He's never tried to find distance, change his swing at all.
No.
It's been exactly the same over all these years.
Yeah, Mike Bender, great old friend of mine, has always been his coach, and Mike's kept him in good form. So here we go. So we're going to take Zach's drive that he's just hit there. We're going to place it onto the first tee shot and see where Zach would hit that driver. Oh, it would be an absolute belter.
Yeah.
Would he take that on down to the first bunker?
He's got 64 yards left in that last bunker on the right-hand side.
Yeah, so that was a 299 shot, leaving himself 55 yards to the front. So there you go, Zach Johnson. 173 ball speed, kind of PGA Tour average, so you can see he's a medium hitter. Precision player, just working the shapes, working the flights. Just to give you an indication, Rory McIlroy yesterday hit 345 carry, so you can just see that Zach is in a category of well below that, like just a third gear for Rory. Here we go.
I think Zach as well now, with less pressure on his shoulders without being the US Ryder Cup captain, I think his game might flourish a bit more than it has done.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I was speaking to Luke Donald yesterday, who's now going to do it 2 in a row. And I mean, if you know, it's your whole life. It's Luke's whole life looking after that team and making sure that our as Europeans, our team is communicating, connecting, and we are representing our tour, the DP World Tour, in the right way. He's got 4 years of looking after that, Luke Donald. That's a massive undertaking,
Really
and
is.
I mean, it's in safe hands with Luke, who's who did an amazing job, and who's such a sort of a calm and respectful guy. But nevertheless, it's a massive undertaking.
If I'd given you 50 guesses, would you have guessed Keegan Bradley to be the next
I never would have, but you know what? I actually like the pick. I like the pick. I'll tell you. So I like the pick because I think it's a change from just this sort of system of having the guy, the top echelon, just exchange it amongst themselves. Keegan Bradley's a New Yorker. The 13th club for the Americans is going to be the crowd. He knows Bethpage very well. That's where he played college golf. And I was thinking about it. It's actually a great pick. I think what he said was like, I think I'll probably try to be the playing captain. I thought that was strange. But I mean, who knows? Who knows how?
For instance, let's say Keegan wins the PGA next year.
Yeah.
What happens then?
Yeah.
I don't think you can be a playing captain these days on the Ryder Cup.
Let's see. Maybe you just have like 4 amazing sub-captains and who would do the stuff while you're not on the course. So, Zach Johnson. Look at that, working those arms left across his body. So, here we go, from one Open champion to another. Great views that this gallery has. That is Stuart Sink, who probably still haven't totally forgiven him for beating Tom Watson. I mean, no, I definitely haven't. I just thought about it. I definitely haven't.
We talked about the unpredictability of links golf. That second shot from Tom Watson into the final hole was, I mean, it was almost a faultless shot, but because of how links golf is, he got incredibly unlucky.
Terribly unlucky. And then Stuart Sink took advantage of that bad luck, and that's why I'm objecting to that. Anyway.
By the way, Stuart Sink's still a fantastic golfer as well.
Yeah, into the seniors now, over 50. But right on speed, Butch Harmon really, I think, guided him to the top there. You can see it's a big move, isn't it? Even with the waterproofs on. Still got a lot of speed, a lot of elasticity. The reason he's looking left is to see our massive monitor, which has got all of the top tracer technology data there. So we've really brought the range to life between our technological partners and our sponsors. It's been an amazing vision, a new vision we've taken. We've been out there watching the live practice. That was fascinating, just to give the viewers an insight into what the players do in a practice round. And all of the technology, and technology is a massive part of the game, Josh.
Yeah, massively is. There are some players who don't use a TrackMan or, you know, things like that. So for them, just seeing on the screen there, seeing a few stats just before the round will be just like, I'm doing well.
Well, what you can see is you can just see, like, what do the conditions, how the conditions impacting my carry numbers, like how much wind is there, how much water is in the air. And he just gets the sense, and he'll just be checking it out. Have a little glance over there, just having a look to see. There it is. Was that what I thought? There you go. So that's what he's looking at, our massive monitor. The players have been really checking that. And what was interesting, we have a long driving up there, right? And Josh, yesterday around lunch, Scotty Scheffler had something, I think, like 332. Let's say that's the number. And you could see Rory check that out. And there was no way Rory was leaving the range until he'd put one past Scotty Scheffler. Just to let everyone know, he was, and it was 345 carry.
Wow.
And you know what? Adam Scott came on, and you could see Adam Scott, like, they were chatting 3, 4, 5. Are you kidding? And then you could see them trying to hit us, and like Scotty having a go at it, and like just Rory leaving the stamp of, you're not longer than me.
The thing with Scotty is that I never think of him as a really long drive, and you watch him hit. He doesn't look like he's explosive as Rory, but he puts it out there, Scotty.
Oh, big time. He's just birdied the first hole, Adam Scott. So if you're an Adam Scott fan, it's all going pretty well. Let's have a look. So just to give you a quick update, Johan Song is 2 under par after 4. Alex Noren 1 under par after 5. Nikolai Højgaard, he hurt his wrist.
When?
No, Nikolai, not Rasmus did. Rasmus last week. Adam Scott is 1 under par through 2, and so is Molinari. So first red figures out on the scoreboard, and we kind of expect that at the start, Josh.
Exactly. The first 7 holes is definitely the scoring opportunities here at Royal Troon. It's when 8 hits, and then 10 and 11 are back to back. Those 2 holes are frightening.
Yeah, the 10th is so hard to get the angle. I think that's one of the visualizations. You know, we were talking about sort of how linear golf is in the US. Like if you look at the Masters, which is my favorite American course to watch the play, it's very linear. It's just the carry numbers. But there are no straight lines here at the Open Championship. You have to be able to have the visualization, the imagination, the creativity to work your curves into those hitting areas.
You're 11, especially because you can't see the fairway on 11. So you've got all the practice you put in and your caddy as well. You just got to rely on something on the horizon and shape your shot, because that's an awkward angle, that tee shot at 11.
It is. So let's have a look at Stuart Sink's tee shots. Okay, this is just a little kind of a 3-wood that he's thinking, and it's a precision shot. So he's just having a look to see, are current conditions impacting my carry numbers? Let's have a look. Nice long backswing. Plenty of flexibility in there,
great balance he's got, Stuart Sink, always has.
Yeah, always has. You know, he's a very tall guy. Okay, not sure we captured that shot there, so let's have a look.
Had his son on a bag a couple of years ago for a while, but his son's a really good golfer. So I think his son was like, I need to play, Dad.
I know, but he won a tournament,
He
didn't
did.
he? Ryan, no. What was his name? Oh, Ryan? No. Something like that. Anyway, no, and it was great. And you could see what it meant to Stewart. The son, I think, just thought it was kind of cool, but for Stewart, it was like a really emotional. He won in California, didn't he? Up in the wine country. Amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing, that, for Stewart Sink. Christian Bezuidenhout next to him there on the range, who is uber talented, the South African. He has got, if you want to copy a golf swing, Christian Bezuidenhout is the one to copy.
But so many of the South Africans.
Yeah.
Oosthuizen, I was watching him the other day. His rhythm hasn't changed. It's
Never.
just the simplest way. It's like, see how simple golf is? Just do that. Right. So
It could be a frustrating day with the weather here for players taking waterproofs on and off, especially for the caddies, by the way. The caddies are the one. It's such a difficult job today.
you can see as the rain comes in, you know, the caddies' heads go down because they just know, okay, clean grips, clean gloves, keep the player guide. The player takes the umbrella. I'll be getting soaked. Anyway,
Regan,
that's what it was.
Regan's
Yeah,
his son's
Regan.
name.
Yeah, well done. So another rip with the driver. Over 50. How much Harrington speed?
I was about to say that the Champions Tour now is so insane for the talent you have on there. You still got Bernard Langer shooting 63, 64 on there too. But you got lights of Goosen.
Ernie Els just won around Firestone, which is one of the most difficult courses tee to green. I chatted to him yesterday, and he just said, of all the places for me to win, I couldn't believe I picked that up, because when we were out there in the NECs and all of that, and years ago, you know, Ernie just battled and battled around there, could never really find it. It was Tiger's like super hunting ground. So Ernie was astonished that he picked up a victory there.
But yeah, I'm thinking you've got Stephen Ames there. You've got Richard Bland now.
Yeah,
I mean,
Blandy.
Richard Bland might win everything on that.
I think that's just such a great story. It's like of all his chapters have just come later.
Yeah,
amazing, isn't it?
It is. It is.
So here we go. Stuart Sink. He is off at 8:47, and it is 08:18 right now here on Thursday morning. We are live at the range. Players are out there. Justin Leonard hit that first shot. So let's just take Stuart's drive here and superimpose it onto the first hole of the golf course here. Opening tee shot. See how he makes it, how far down. Little baby fade. Let's see if he misses the trap. That would go in the trap, and that would be out of your debt.
Yeah,
that's a 5.
It's a perfect bunker, that on one, really. And that top tracer technology shows it perfectly as well there. Yeah, we had 3 woods, we had driving irons off the first tee. That's the play, really.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
even Jason Leonard just hit a 4-iron, you know. So you just have to navigate. It's a chess match around the traps, isn't it? I mean, that's what Tiger was so impressive. Remember at St Andrews when he won, never went in a bunker.
But that's unbelievable. There's 98 bunkers here at Royal Troon.
Yeah.
If you're not going in a bunker here, you're doing well.
Yeah.
You'll be up there this week.
Yeah. No, that's right. It's absolutely right.
But that's why links golf is so good. As you said, it is a chess match.
Yeah.
You don't get that on a lot of
that's
other
why
courses.
that's why you've got so many interesting variations. You know, that's what we said. You know, we were talking about this study that HSBC had done, where they have actually sort of done a deep dive to show that golf is the most unpredictable individual sport, and of all of the majors, the Open is the most unpredictable. So that is factoring in so many new elements, which is maybe why this is such a captivating watch.
It is, and I think the unpredictability of golf is the reason why people keep coming back to it, keep playing it as well.
Well, you, as bad as you were today, you could be amazing tomorrow.
Precisely.
And as you said earlier, you have to have hope. If you've got no hope,
what's the point?
Arrivederci, that's it, no good. So, Sink just loosening up. He is off in a few minutes. Maybe go and have a few putts. He's looking at our... Look at that, he's still very, very powerful, isn't he? So, let's see. sink. Strong grip, loads it, releases forward. He likes that one.
Now, interesting. He's gone to this club. Do you think this might be the club he off the first tee?
100%. Recreate it. That's what Tiger always used to do, because Jack Nicklaus always used to do it. So just to give you an update of what's happening, we are on day one of the 152nd Open. We are at Royal Troon, and Yu Hang Song is 2 under par through 4. He leads a pack. We've already got some red numbers, including Adam Scott, Molinari, and Justin Thomas. Welcome to day one of the 152nd Open. We are at Royal Troon, and this is live at the range. We have brought the range to life. It is the most busy place, and here is why they are out there. So the 4th hole, a little bit of a new tee, just nudged a little bit more to the right. Got to work it in there, Josh.
599, possibly I would say the best birdie chance on the front 9 too, Simon, here.
Yeah, I think it is. You know, sort of probably got to just aim at those 2 left bunkers with something that doesn't get there. So if it's very downwind, you could release it all the way there. That first bunker sits in there at 337, but that's pretty much your aiming line. And then you can see kind of like just a runway all the way up to the green, which is pretty busy.
The big hitters can go over that first bunker on the right-hand side. 293 carry for the likes of Rory and Bryson is nothing. And if they get it over there, they cut the corner. They've got a short iron into the green.
Yeah, so you can see, look at the faces on those traps, the dark shadows. They're like eyebrows, aren't they? They're just sort of like, they're raised up. You can see them so clearly. Here's the par 3 now. So this is kind of changed angle. This is 220, but that right bunker, the bunker that you see there, used to be kind of like a right bunker, and you kind of came up the chute there. Now, because the green's been pushed, the tee's been pushed more to the right, it's almost a center bunker, which brings in, I think, a lot more play to those right-hand pins. This is a big upgrade, as I see it.
And it makes it a lot tougher, that hole as well, whereas the par 5 is a good birdie chance. I think that's a par and you're running to the 6th.
So the 6th is the longest hole in open golf. It is 623, par 5. It's called Turnberry. Some cavernous bunkers off the tee to be negotiated. 244 it is to carry to the fairway, and you can see all of the undulations. So you're taking on those bunkers or you're laying back. If you're laying back, you're not getting up in 2. If you take on the bunkers and you get a good bounce, you could have a second shot of around 250.
Increase of 22 yards this hole this year.
Yeah, and look at the faces. You're not getting out of there, you're coming backwards.
It's a wonderful hole, this, the 6th.
It's a wonderful course.
Yeah.
So there you have. We've kind of given you a view, if you were watching with us earlier, of the first 6 holes. It is a more friendly start. I love the 7th. I think that's a beautiful hole. And then you come to the postage stamp, and then you're in trouble.
Yeah, they're saying the postage stamp could play as short as 99 yards this week. I mean, that would be...
That'd be fascinating.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah, fascinating. And it just goes to show, like, I don't know why we've got such a trend of having, like, 250-yard par 3s. And if you think of the classic ones, let's suppose... TPC Sawgrass, 17, that's a classic. Augusta, 12, classic, little, short, not 160 to the back of the thing. I'd like to see more of that, like creativity. You know, why are the modern courses not copying the old courses? Like, the old courses had it right. Don't have 250-yard par 3s. That's not what we want.
No, absolutely, yeah. As Simon said, all the classics are 150 and below, 155 and below.
Yeah, but with a torturous danger somewhere.
Always, yeah. And what's interesting is on the front 9 there, the longest par 4 is on the back 9. Excuse me. All the par 4s are longer than the longest one on the front 9.
It's going to be a great contest. So we are on the driving range, and somewhere out on the golf course is George Harper Jr.
Hello everyone, Simon, great to hear from you once again. I've made it down to the chipping area, and there is a plethora of options here. So you can come grab your bucket of balls, do as you please, completely up to you which ones you choose, but they're all here. It's all set up as per usual, and then we come out here and it's another green. There's another whole course out here, so they've utilised all the possible areas that they can. This is, I guess, why Troon's such a good facility to host, is they have acres of space. And then if you make your way up here, we've got Tony Finau on our left. Geez, it'd be great to see him back in contention at a major as well. And then the fans have got a great seat up here. It's a hidden gem, this chipping green. You can really come watch these players get into their work. And then right up against the face of the bunker here is Tom Kim, trying some seriously creative shots. Tom Kim had a great campaign at Royal Liverpool this time last year. Can he back it up? Look at all these unique angles they practice. No surprises out here. Golf is so unpredictable, but these guys are trying their best to be ready for every scenario. Close but no cigar. Simon, you've said a few times that every bunker is pretty much a one-shot penalty, isn't it? How cool is it to see these guys trying to mastermind their ways out of it?
Yeah, I just think all of the different balances and the way you have to use the banks and how long it takes them to position their bodies to find where the low point's going to be. And then it's shots that you don't see on the PGA Tour. It's shots that we only uniquely see on these links golf courses. And that adds another special magic, I think, to the viewer's enjoyment of all this. I mean, look what he's trying here.
This is great.
Just the creativity. It's just like it's just playing it like a game, isn't it? Just a toy, like you were when you were kids.
Yeah, that is a shot. That is a shot I've never seen, nor ever played, but I'm loving what I'm seeing here from Tom Kim. I don't know what you call that shot. It's almost like the polo or the croquet. Or it's almost like the belly putter of Adam Scott. But yeah, this is just magical stuff. And Jeff, if we go way over to about 11 p.m, we've also got Tommy Fleetwood who's arrived. Tommy's very routine based, and he does a loop around the whole chipping green. He's done a couple of bunker shots, and now he's in the thick rough. It's very, very cool to see how he goes about his business, but much like all of them, very routine based. And Tommy just chipped in. How about that? Oh, very good. Wouldn't it be good to see Big Tommy fire this week?
It would be great to see that. There he is with Graham Walker, his long time coach. Great friends, those two. Long relationship. And we all wish Tommy and Team Fleetwood a great week. Thanks so much, George. I'm sure we'll be back to you soon as you create a little bit more magic. So Josh and man, Tommy Fleetwood.
I would say outside of Bob McIntyre and Rory, I would say if Tommy wins, that would be the most popular winner this week.
Oh yeah, easy. I was talking to some guys in security as we were coming in here through the scanners, and they were like, "Oh, you know, I'm like, guys, why have you come out?" So, "Oh, we want to go watch Tommy Fleet. We're going to get into position early and watch him." It's like just how engaged he is with the fans, and how, you know, it's so easy to root for him, isn't it? He's been close. Yeah. You kind of feel he's putting in. What I like is you really do feel from him that this is absolutely the best he could possibly be doing. Is a full 100% of his effort all the time. This is something he wants, and we'd all love him to get it.
Of course, you look at his last 6 opens: 27th, 12th, 2nd, 33rd, 4th, and 10th. His consistency in this tournament is incredible.
Yeah, he's you know, the flatter flights. There he is.
By the way, I think a big plus for him this week, Ian Finnis back on the bag for him after Finno's heart surgery.
That was unbelievable.
I know, and Finno looks great. I saw him this week, and he looks fantastic.
Yeah, bless him. Oh, such a lovely, lovely guy. Wish him well. Really full recovery. So, Team Fleetwood are getting ready for what is going to be, hopefully, a magical week. Wish them well. Here's the bird's eye view of the driving range. You can see all of the divots that have been taken there. That is the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now we're on to Thursday.
You can see the chipping green there over on the right-hand side. There's just around the corner there from the rain, so not far at all. Everything's within close proximity as well this week, which is fantastic at Royal Troon.
It's very well organised. I think what happens... Oh, there's Stefan Jaeger. So... let's have a look and see what he's doing, getting ready to go.
He's had some year, Stefan Jaeger. Won earlier in the year and beat Scotty by 1. Scotty had to birdie the last, missed a 12, 15-foot putt. And Jaeger won in Texas, excuse me, in Houston.
Yeah, the Houston Open, Texas Children's Houston Open. Oh, here we go, Bob. In the house. Bob McIntyre. The heartbeat of Scottish golf.
He's an incredible driver of the ball, Stephen Jaeger. Long. He's long.
Oh, yeah, he's very powerful.
Like top 30, I think, in driving on tour.
Yeah. No, a really, really, really strong player. Looking forward to seeing how he could go. So, have a look. Very compact, isn't it? The speed is easy.
A very good US Open as well, Jaeger, 21st there a few weeks ago.
It's interesting, isn't it? He's sort of found a way to perform at the big events. There's a special skill for that. I always thought Graham McDowell was amazing at kind of like bringing his game and peaking it when it really, really mattered. And some guys can really do that. They just have to, they figure out how to play well and prepare well at the big events. He's one of those guys.
I mean, holding off the likes of Scotty Scheffler, Finau as well, Dietrich when he won Houston, that's got to go a long way for him this week.
Ah, big time. It gives him so much confidence, wasn't he? It was the, you know, just head-to-head and get it done. It just goes to show, like, all of the work you're doing is validated at that one point. It just gives you, it turbocharges your feelings about what you're doing and how good you are.
What's interesting, this is actually his debut at the Open. He was meant to play in 2020, obviously no event. So this is his debut. So it'll be interesting to see how he fares on links, because he plays the whole time on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, it's a big, big changeover. So here is our top tracer technology on the right side of your screen. Just having a look at Stefan Jaeger's shot there. 172, it's probably an 8-iron. Might be a 7-iron. 130 ball speed. Little punchy shot there. Let's have a look. So, very deliberate.
Another strong grip, Simon.
Yeah. It's almost like the old 2-knuckle grip now is a weak grip. With 3 knuckles is normal. So players just working the conditions. They're thinking about the wind. They've looked at what they're likely to come into. They're planning with their caddies. Like, what is there anything that's changing the plan from what we decided yesterday? Yeah, that right hand really comes under there, kind of like an on top with that right hand.
No retractable brush on his belt for Jaeger?
No, I'm not sure. I mean, that's a little gooby, isn't it? Anyway. I can see you have it in your pocket, but to have it on a little sort of retractable thing that comes off your belt loop.
What's the stick on the ground for, Simon?
So that's just, it's actually, I would say, probably just an orientation club that he's got there, and also just to make sure, you know, you don't start leaking that face right of target, just to keep reminding you of the parallel lines. You know, it's so easy, you know, if to keep your hands going down the target line, that's the instinct, but your hands need to go down the left. The only thing that goes down the target line is the ball. Everything else is going round the corner. You can see where he finishes there. So high hopes, high hopes. Everyone high hopes.
Yeah,
Josh.
of course. He's playing with Adam Schenk and Joaquin Niemann as well. I'm a big fan of Joaquin Niemann. Big fan.
What a player. So we were watching Tommy Fleetwood chipping with Graham Walker. Now we've got a chance perhaps to see Tommy Fleetwood's warm-up. He's got a very unusual drill that he uses. Let's see if he's preparing it for us.
This is always a treat for me watching Tommy practice. It is. You know there's, I say, you'll know this, Simon, that there are certain players that when they hit the ball, it makes a certain amazing sound. Tommy is up there for me.
He is. So Fleetwood, this is just a drill that he uses, kind of like a medicine drill, and all it is just to make sure he doesn't drop it under the path. Kind of like if you imagine that you're in the middle of a hula hoop, you want to have that hula hoop, the bottom of that hula hoop facing at the target line, and his just has a tendency to leak a little bit to the right and gets under it. So probably the most common error in professional golf, I should say. Everyone's trying to not get under it. So Fleetwood.
It's not for the faint-hearted, this drill, Simon.
You know what? I have watched him do it 1,000 times. I've never seen him screw it up. So be very interesting to see Fleetwood as he just goes through this drill.
If anyone does want to try this drill, I would recommend, like Tommy, putting something very soft, like that putter head cover. I wouldn't put a phone there.
He often puts just like a little, the sleeve of balls with obviously no balls in it. Just Vijay Singh was the first guy really doing this. He used to have a water bottle. So here we go, Fleetwood, flusher. Just making sure that he exits left, just as we were saying that.
There's Finno.
There's Finno, bless him. Lovely, lovely, lovely
nice
bloke.
guy.
He's always had Tommy's back.
All the time.
All the time. Absolutely.
They're a great team. They really are a proper team. There we go. There are his starts at the Open. That runner-up in 2019. He was so close in 2019. And then a couple of years ago, 4th. His 10th Open. 10th time here at Royal Troon for the Open. Tommy's 10th Open.
There's one of our top tracer technicians in the background, just making sure we're recording everything. He's
Such balance, Tommy's swing, every time.
Yeah, so Tommy just gets the feel from that. That was all he needed. So we'll let Tommy get into his thing. There is Rich Beam having a cup of tea, and somewhere close by is Di Stewart.
Thanks very much, Simon. Yeah, Rich is having a quick cuppa and a chat with Finno, Ian Finnis, who, as a lot of our viewers will know, if you've been watching over the last few days, and obviously watching Finno's story, had open heart surgery 3 months ago, came back and caddied for Tommy at the Scottish Open last week, says his legs were a little bit sore, but he's holding up. He's doing brilliantly, isn't he,
That's
Finno?
incredible, isn't it? 3 months away from like such a dangerous operation to be back out here walking. I think it's obviously good for Tommy, but most importantly, it's good for Finno. I think he's just happy to be back out and having a stroll.
Definitely. And yeah, Tommy's just warming up, doing what he would usually do on the driving range before a major championship. We've seen it again and again. He's just had the alignment sticks out, but as we know, he loves playing in Open Championships. That second place finish at Royal Portrush, that was a few years ago now, but the last couple of Opens, top 10 finishes. Is your money on Tommy?
So when I did my pre-tournament picks, me and my team, we crunched the numbers, and coming out on top was Tommy Fleetwood.
Well, you did so well last year because you picked Brian Harman.
I know. I think with Brian though, because I don't really know Brian, and it was quite an impersonal pick. It was like, oh yeah, it's fine, Brian Harman. But now with Tommy, like, I know Tommy and I really like him, and I'm like, oh, I really want him to win. So I feel a bit more invested in it this year.
Totally. He's got so much support. Here in Scotland, a lot of English have come up, a lot of Scots supporting him as well. He's just one of those characters in the game over the past decade or so. His game has really grown. We love his personality. He gives so much back, doesn't he? Yeah,
and like, he always carries a great gallery with him. People love to watch him play. And if there was a major championship that you would tailor-made for his game, it is the Open. It's like Rory at Augusta. Yeah. You just say, right, Rory, Augusta, those things just go well. That is peaches and cream. Yeah. This is haggis and tatties down here. It's just Tommy Fleetwood, the Open. It should work.
Haggis and tatties, I could do with some of those. It's quite chilly, isn't it? It's a wee bit chilly. We're just actually in front of us, Jon Rahm's coming onto the range. And obviously second place finish, wasn't it, last year for John?
Yeah, it's been fairly consistent on live this year. He's not won, obviously coming off that foot injury from a few weeks ago.
So John's heading to the putting range, but we've got Tommy behind us. We've got lots of questions as well coming in on social media. We've been using the hashtag the Open Range, and quite a few of you have been watching on YouTube, which is brilliant, from around the world. One here, any clubs specifically for this event in the bag this week?
So most of the players, certainly earlier in the week, have been making changes top end and bottom end. So most players now will use a 5-wood, some will have a hybrid in, and it's having that combination, maybe taking those out and putting a driving iron in, because you do need that option to keep the ball low off the tee to get it penetrating through the wind and going down the fairway. So most people who are using, say, a 7-wood or a hybrid, they'll be taking those out, they'll be sticking a driving iron in just for those specific tee shots.
Got you. Hope that answers your question.
And the wedges as well, bit of grind as well.
Yes.
Taking the bounce off.
I mean, that could be a half-hour conversation, couldn't it? We'll get onto these. We might get back to that.
I mean, I could talk about grind profiles all morning if you want.
I know.
It's very exciting.
Oh, it's fascinating. Honestly, a brilliant hit at dinner parties. Who's spent the most time on the range so far? This is a question from Maria in Germany on YouTube.
I mean, Scotty's been here probably a little bit more than I would have expected. Now, please...
you were talking about him, yes.
Please bear in mind, this has levels, okay? Scotty's not hitting it well. Like, he's not striking it well at all. I don't think he's kind of finding it with his driver. Now, of course, he's the best player in the world by, quite a long way at the moment. So his bad drives are bad drives. But I think he was spending a little bit longer on this range than he wanted to. So it'd be interesting to see what it's like when he gets on the course. It's a different game out there.
Good insight. A question from Sanchez on YouTube as well. What's better for Troon, accuracy off the tee or distance off the tee?
Oh,
thank you, Sanchez.
Every single golf event, it's distance.
Yeah.
Maybe not this week.
Phil Mickelson said it was accuracy yesterday when we spoke to him.
With this wind, it's accuracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Because the thing is, with the fairway bunkers around here, they're so deep, they're so penal. Like, normally week to week, if you go in a fairway bunker on tour, you might be able to get it near the green. A lot of these are just coming out sideways.
Yeah.
So if you have a mid-iron into the green, that's not ideal, but if you're in a bunker, you're not getting there. So it's best to lay back a little bit, make sure you're in the fairway so you have a chance.
OK, thanks, Pete. Let's get back to commentary. We'll stay here and find some little nuggets for you, but back to you, Simon.
Oh, thank you, guys. Oh, here we go, Tommy Fleetwood. Peter Finch, the predictor. Peter the predictor.
That was pretty good with Brian Harman last year. I hate to give Pete credit. That was pretty good last year. I'm with Pete. If Tommy wins this year, everyone will be so happy.
Yeah, that would be the icing on the cake, personally, anyway.
A lot of people I've spoken to, Simon, I don't know what you think. They said, especially on the back nine, a draw of the ball will do well here at Royal Troon. What do you think?
Yeah, and a left-hander as well, probably.
Are we taking Brian Harman back to back?
I don't know. Who knows?
But I'm just looking at Tommy's.
Yeah.
Tommy's always a draw of the ball.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought it up.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point. So Fleetwood, very calm. Hold the finish. I love that little finish. It's
so good.
I love it that the arm swing ends as the body turn ends. There's no like long arm swing continuing. So it's almost like a little. It's very abrupt and tidy. So the chest, the hips stop turning, and boom, the club just comes through and stops.
That's something people at home can do as well, Simon. That kind of finish as well. I know a lot of coaches use that almost as a drill.
Yeah. So what have we got? Here we go. Just a little stabilizer there. Maybe trying to keep a bit of height. That's a good key. If you're ever working on the timing, go and find a kind of a pretty flat fairway bunker. Hit a few sort of 8 irons out of there, really just trying to get your striking going. And Seve always used to say, like, when he was working on his time, he used to try to keep his chin absolutely level, same level all the way through. And I thought that was a great image.
Very good, that.
So we will leave Tommy for a few minutes and see what George Harper Jr. is up to now.
Hello, Simon. Hello, everyone. I've made my way down to the putting green, and Ludwig Oberg has just arrived. He's got a lovely new hat on, actually, which I'm pretty excited to see. He's joined by Peter Hansen. Good to see him this morning as we arrived. Really intrigued to see how the world number 4 performs this week. Is this his chance? Is this his major? Every time he tees it up, you think he's going to be in the mix. And then we've got Bryson DeChambeau has made his way onto the putting green as well, enjoying a bit of chit-chat with Tony Finau. Interesting to see Bryson with his extra length putter. Notice that his arms are so stiff, his wrist has got very little movement. And if you subtly look, you can just see that little extra bit of hip movement. It's so hard to keep your hips and everything still if your wrist is locked. So I don't know what they're watching there, but it's certainly not looking at their technique, is it, Simon?
I reckon they're watching Adam Scott's bunker shot on the first. From the left
did I hear that he made
Scotty,
birdie on the first?
Yeah,
from the
out.
30-yard, but no, 25-yard bunker shot.
Ah,
at least that's what I'd be
fantastic. What a
watching.
way to start.
Yeah, I know, amazing.
I noticed that he had a new haircut actually on the range this morning. Adam Scott was looking glamorous as per.
Well, we rely upon you for that sort of data, George. Thanks, mate. Now, Ludwig Garber, can we get a closer look at what Ludwig's drill is there? Is there any chance of that?
Yeah, so this is a... Yeah, we can find that. If we can come over this way. It's very similar to what Tiger was doing. The other drill that he had before and he's been doing with it a few days.
Yeah.
Is it's all about his start path. So it's all about getting it started on the right line, and then he puts his notebook holder or some contraption just to stop him having to chase after the balls. But now he's gone back to the classic Tiger Woods technique that we saw earlier in the week. Just the gateway drill, making sure he comes straight through. And it just puts a bit of pressure on you, doesn't it, to make sure you're hitting the target and hitting the centre of the club face. And he's done that a lot, hasn't he, this year, Simon?
I love that drill.
Simple. It's a
so
simple drill.
Simple, but I mean, if you hit the sweet spot, that's half the battle, isn't it? Then you're going to get the right start line, and you're also going to get the right kind of ball speed for your stroke. So that's a super drill. And just to let you know, viewers at home, that's Ludwig doing that right before he's going out. So always working on it. Great insight from George. Let's head down to the driving range again.
A contender for me, by the way, Simon, this week. I mean, Sunday, I think, was a bit of an anomaly at the Scottish last week. I don't know what happened. He was, for 54 holes, he was sensational.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened Sunday, but I always think it's one of those rounds.
I think bad shots just can happen, can't it?
Of course it can.
He was trying to win. He hit a few risky shots. Anyway, we'll leave Ludwig, wish him well, and give you the familiar sight of the driving range. Tommy Fleetwood, sweater on now. just warming up. So on the right side of the tee, hitting across the wind. A drawer will go with the wind. The faders will go to the other side, hit into the wind. It's a big part of trying to get a flat lie, trying to get the right divots, trying to get, it's like picking your spots big. The caddies, you saw Fuji out there earlier getting Justin Rose ready, lining it all up, getting exactly all the right prep for the player. So Fleetwood.
Finno's getting the distance there for him as well. Just making sure everything is ship shape.
Look at that finish.
It's a perfect, it's almost perfect for links golf, that, what he's doing.
Just that, like, kind of, I love the way that right arm extends down, compresses it, keeps the shaft low through the ball, keeps the face square through the ball. And for me, Fleetwood, if he could just get a bit of momentum behind him early, fill his sails and just sail off into the distance, it'd be just an excellent week.
Tee to green, I don't think there's a problem. It's on the green. You just got to get the putts there, get the putts to the hole.
Yeah, it's a hard. I think the greens are difficult to read. I don't know if it's the coloration that we're not used to that, or just the subtleties of the slopes. But the read is always difficult. So just on the right side of your screen there, and brought to you with our partner, key partner, Rolex. Been a fantastic supporter, particularly of our sport, and we thank them for that. Sponsors have been absolutely crucial in allowing us to bring you all of this insight. So Fleetwood, 163. Let's say this is, I'd say, little hold off 8 iron. I'm going to say that. No. 122 ball speed. That's too little. So
166 on that 8 iron.
Still, yeah. Still, no. I'd say
7.
Yeah. No, we'll stay with 8 iron.
Okay.
Just a little sawn off 8 iron there. So.
Ooh, here he is.
Oh, guess who's back?
The 2-time major champ.
J.R.
I would say not many people are talking about Rahm this week.
No, but I think that's maybe the way he likes it. There's your leaderboard. Nicolai Højgaard, 2 under par, and he joins the lead.
Control. It's often out of your reach. Your opponent. A line call. Even the bounce of a ball. Every game is full of unexpected twists and turns. You have the lows, the injuries, being away from home, the pressure. And the incredible highs, the wins, exploring the world. Every day, a new opportunity. Life is rarely a straight line. We can help wherever it takes you.
Here we go, we are live at the range. It is Thursday and the tournament has started. The 152nd Open was kicked off at, what time was it? It was
6:35.
6:35.
Justin Leonard with the first tee shot, the 97 champ.
Yeah. Not going so well in the game 1 +6, but anyway, great to have him back with us. Some marquee names out on the golf course you can go and see. Justin Rose is out there with Molinari and Jasper Stubbs. Adam Scott is out there with Nicolai Højgaard. I think I'd be watching that group.
It's a fantastic group.
Minwoo Lee is out there. Alex Noren, 2 under par. So we are on the range. There is.
Here he is.
Man of the moment.
In blue and white.
Bob McIntyre.
I think he's done well to get here this week, Bob.
Just using a little sequence drill there, just helping the arm position. trying to keep the arms and the chest working a little bit more as a unit. Tendency for the arms to kind of get a little bit late or get the acceleration at the wrong spot. So just cruising it through, tons of power and tons of heart. Just an amazing performance, Josh.
He's got a fantastic look at 6th on debut at Royal Portrush, Bob, in 2019. He couldn't have wished for a better year so far, winning in Canada with Dad Doogie on the bag and then winning your home open a year after Rory robbing him.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to his dad, right? Hats off to his dad. Made the trip, had his sons back. An emotional story.
Oh, it was incredibly emotional.
And then you could just see what it meant to the son and the relationship that those two guys had. Absolutely fantastic. So congratulations to them both. And I have to say, the heart that he showed over the last, let's say the last 9, because he was behind, he was fighting. Looked like Scotty was going to win.
Oh. 4 under for his last 5, Bob.
Yeah.
I know he had some luck on 16 with the sprinkler head. That's the game of golf. That's the you know, you get bad luck, you get good luck.
Yeah.
And he took advantage. That shot he hit into 16 was just sensational.
Absolutely superb.
But then he still had to hold a putt on 18, and that was a double breaker.
Yeah.
That putt on 18. And it just got to the hole. And my favourite celebration of the year from Bob.
Oh, here we go. So have a look at this. These are the guys on the range now. So we've got Fleetwood. I'd say he is the white lines there. McIntyre, I would say, is the black at the far left. And in the middle for Spain, Jon Rahm. This is them practicing. How amazing is this as a visual?
It's fantastic. You've got the yardages in each corner that you can see from each player. Bob top left, Rahm bottom left, Tommy over on the right-hand side there. Tommy obviously further through his bag with a 2-2-3 carry. It's going to be about a 5-iron, you would think.
Yeah, amazing. So these guys are going to be heading out at 9:36. It is 08:58 right now. 9:36. Rahm, Fleetwood, McIntyre. I would be watching that because right behind that is Ludwig, Bryson and Tom Kim. Some stellar event. This is all the lead players are here.
Here he is.
Rahm.
Runner-up last year, Rahm.
Yeah, and I just think he's looking at our data. You just think something's got to happen for Rahm. There's a talent in there. I think it was probably quite a big adjustment for him. Coming off the PGA Tour, probably felt as though it kind of isolated himself a little bit. Had to probably get adjusted to that, and it'd be a big change for him. But great to see him. He's had his coach, Dave Phillips. He'll be not far away.
He's obviously 2-time major champion and also 2 Irish wins at Portstewart and Lahinch.
Yeah,
so he is fantastic on links.
Yeah. Well, he's a shot maker, isn't he? What I love about him is, like, if it needs to be a draw off the bunker, it's a draw off the bunker. If it's a fade here, you could go draw, fade, draw, fade. He's like so creative. He's got all of the shots. So Fleetwood, I'm not sure if he loved that last shot.
No, he didn't seem to like it, did he?
So just needs to get off to a start.
I think Bob's just going to enjoy this week, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's just going to enjoy it. You know, he's got every single fan behind him.
Yeah, you've probably just got to get into your head that it's, hey, just restart. It's another week.
I don't think he knows Royal Troon that well as a golf course, from what I understand, Bob.
That's funny, isn't it? You would have thought you'd have spent amateur golf. Amateur golfers play the most amount of links golf. British amateurs, European amateur golfers play so much links golf. Rahm. Look at the names. I mean, it just goes to show how special this championship is. Rahm.
Do you think there's going to be some Ryder Cup chat in that 3-ball? Rahm, Tommy and Bob.
Yeah. Why not? I mean,
do you remember back in September?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, why not? And I mean, that was one of the things that I thought was Justin Rose was amazing at just sort of guiding Bob round that, put his arm around him, showed him how Europeans play the Ryder Cup. Very skillful captain, very skillful. So here we've got on the left side, that is Bob McIntyre. In the middle, in the red, that is Jon Rahm. These are their live shots just to show you this is our top tracer technology. And then Tommy Fleetwood now has finished his drivers and now just having a few closing chip shots just to cool off before he goes off. So just to clip a few, just to calm it down, maybe get a rhythm from the wedges. Very visual driving range, Josh. Lots of lift on targets to hit.
There's a lot of flags, a lot of greens on this range. All the brollies have just started to go up, everybody. That's not a good sign.
Rahm.
I think he's gone under the radar this week. I would say he's had a fine season on Live. I would say nothing spectacular.
No, I think, you know, maybe a few injuries. You never know.
Do you think he's got a bit of a point to prove, Rahm?
Yeah, I think he felt a little bit kind of isolated. Like he was a main player, but he wasn't Tiger. He wasn't in that kind of Tiger, Tiger, Justin Thomas, Rory group, Spieth group. He wasn't in that. And maybe felt like, you know what? I'm going to go and do my own thing. So
he did play in Spain last week. That might have helped him, I think. Just being back home for a while, I think.
Yeah, so certainly wish him well. Have a look at this. Look at the speed of the wrist positions and the arms.
The size of his legs. Like tree trunks.
Oh, yeah, he's a number 8 all day long, isn't he? Tony Finau in the background. He looks like he could just kind of cruise straight into NBA. There are some sportsmen out there.
I think this will be the most followed group today.
Oh, yeah.
Rahm, Tommy and Bob.
Oh, I'd be out there. 9:36, game 17.
Tony Finau's hands are so low.
Yeah, let's have a look. Is that his practice club there? He's got a practice club that he just uses, which has kind of got like a shaft that bends itself backwards. So caddy just filming it, just making sure he's got the right lines, the right paths. Matthew Pavon.
Oh,
you
what
just
a
saw
year.
Flusher.
What a
great win at Torrey Pines. Amazing.
I mean, him and Bob taking the cards on the PJ Tour from the DP World Tour and taking advantage.
So Bob into some longer stuff. Simon
Shanks there. One of the great names for a coach.
It is a great name, isn't it? He's a lovely, lovely guy.
I mean, he's got him, Jordan Smith, as well.
Flushes.
Mike on the bag there. He was vital last week with Bob. They've got a very good friendship, those two. They get on incredibly well.
Rahm working through the bag fairly briskly, not mucking around.
No.
Keeping dry. 9:36, 32 minutes before they go.
So I was going to say that rain is starting to get heavy now out there. Hard work this for the caddies.
Yeah, keeping all the stuff dry. Got to have a clean glove. It's a bit of a nightmare, really, isn't it? Fascinating just to see. Yeah, there's a bit of rain that's coming in and out.
There we go, the runner-up last year, third in 2021, and his last time here at Troon, 59th, but there was a young Jon Rahm then.
Yeah, he had a very strong go at Brian Harman, and I think he thought if he could just squeeze him and put a bit of pressure on him that he might fold, but he never did.
I don't think Brian Harman feels pressure.
He certainly putted. He basically he putted everything from 10 feet and in, didn't he? And you couldn't dislodge him, and then he could enjoy the end of it.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. If Rahm, what does Rahm have to do to improve, Simon? Is there any part of his game you think that like?
It's interesting you say that. I mean, there's always, I should say, like, how bad is your miss? And I would say it's been surprising how the bad shots have been quite bad. Like, he's not a bad shot was just in the semi, it's a bad shot in the trees. So the misses have been quite penalizing. So sometimes you're really sort of factoring in how many really good shots you're hitting, thinking that you're not hitting too many bad ones. he's really been penalised by his mistakes. So Fleetwood, Team Fleetwood, heads. Off chipping.
Jacket's on now.
Yeah.
This doesn't deter Bob, this weather.
No, Tommy be worried if there's sort of get the hair wet or anything. Bob, T-shirt. It's powerful, isn't it? Strong, plenty of speed. Come on, Tommy. We all wish you well. We hope it's a great week. You can see the clouds just moving in. They will be in the whole day. Simon Shanks looks for a little ball position. Just having a look at what they're doing there. So
Simon's not saying much here, is he?
No,
It's
just checking the basics. And he's more, he'll be just sort of like, if Bob has a question about something, then he'll be there to answer it. You know, yeah, maybe a little bit of wet ball, wet face there. That's one of the things. So for Simon, just making sure his man's kind of mentally ready, like just the basics. Still have been working on something as a reminder. A lot of players get a lot of comfort from the same routine, you know, try to go through the same thing, make it feel the same as yesterday, the same as the day before. It's one of those types of sports. So rain definitely coming down now. I think the jacket is coming on. Keep the glove dry. Rahm flushing, Finau smashing. There's your ball data. 180 carry, 136. I'm saying that's an A time for John Rahm.
Going through these balls fairly quickly, isn't he? It's just because it's raining, Simon, you think?
Yeah, and I think, you know what, he probably just actually wants to physically warm up. He's not working on anything. He just wants to loosen up, hit all the clubs, get himself physically ready. So he will have been in the gym. He's definitely a guy who ice baths. He's got some problems in the hips and the pelvis, so he just has to do that ice treatment. So, you know, when they come to arrive, they're not stiff. They haven't just got out of bed. They've been out for 3 or 4 hours. They've been stretched. They've been in the physio. We know a lot of them. Rory, for example, will be lifting some proper serious weights before getting ready for the load.
Saw a video of Bob in the gym as well the other day, doing a lot. A lot of weights as well, Bob was.
So Rahm ripping through a series of balls, only just allowing the last ball to land before the next ball is dispatched.
Do you think there will be much chat in this group? When it comes to a major championship, will there be much chat?
Rahm is not a chatter.
No.
Fleetwood's going to just speak to his caddy. And Bob will just have his head down. He'll have a lot of home support. I think just trying to normalise the morning and calm yourself down. It's a very edgy build-up, isn't it? So we will wish them well.
3 Ryder Cuppers there in that group.
Yeah.
Another Ryder Cupper. I mean, this guy's been a professional for about 10 minutes.
I know. And he's out with Bryson DeChambeau and Tom Kim. That's going to be a fun watch. So we saw Tom Kim earlier working on his wedge shots. Now in the background there's the golf bag of one Rory McIlroy. That is Michael under the umbrella
it's Harry.
With Harry.
Simon, this golf swing, does it get any better than this? Any simpler than this?
That's interesting. Do you see his right hand position there? What was he doing there? Maybe just like a face stabilizing drill at the bottom there. So, working with Peter Hansen. Peter was an amazing golfer. Really interesting to see.
It's faultless, that swing, Simon, isn't it?
It just looks amazing, doesn't it? And he uses it so well. 09:47. It is 09:10 now, so 37 minutes before the guys go. That is the group. That's game 18. That's Ludwig Åberg, Bryson DeChambeau and Tom Kim. Very, very tasty. Rory McIlroy, who we see there, just cruising through. He's 10:09. He's going out with Max Homa and Tyrrell Hatton. Some group, isn't it? How's
here we
this for
go.
a bunch of names? So you're going to go Finau, Russell Henley, Matthew Pavon, to Rahm, Fleetwood, McIntyre, Ludwig Aberg, Bryson DeChambeau, Tom Kim. Behind them, Harman, Hovland, and Heath Thagala, Rory McIlroy, Homer, and Tyrrell Hatton. I mean,
but
go out with those guys. So here we go. Big swing, isn't it?
he gets on with it. I love that about Ludwig.
Yeah.
Just gets on with it.
And laughs at his own mistakes. That's an important part, isn't it? Forgiving yourself. You make a lot of mistakes. For me, he forgives himself very quickly.
Yeah, and he's the most chilled out golfer I have ever met, Ludwig. So chilled out. You know, Simon, we were talking about strong grips earlier. We're on the other side here with Bryson. His left hand is very weak.
Doing so much work with Dana Dahlquist last night. I was watching them hit drivers and just trying to find this feel. So, not a calm golfer, Bryson DeChambeau. The Energizer Bunny, I would say.
Have you ever tried those grips he has on his irons? Have you tried those?
Yeah, I actually quite like those because, unfortunately, my hands are rubbish. I've had seven hand operations.
Yeah, I know.
So I've got to find something in
Bryson will find you something.
He will. We were chatting about it. His grips are. I'd like a bit softer compound, so I feel like I could hold into it. Those are hard. He's got there. So how about that?
This is a fascinating comparison for me between Ludwig, which has got this classic golf swing, to Bryson with this new modern way of thinking.
Can you almost see that of a sort of a swing and a hit? Like so. Here we go. Bryson.
So very similar distances here, Simon.
Yeah,
with
they're
these
probably
two.
just at the same. Those are carbon copies, aren't they? So,
but club-wise,
Bryson DeChambeau in yellow there, just clipping away. What is that? I think that's his 7-iron. And then Ludwig on a very similar ball speed, carbon copy.
6-iron maybe for Ludwig.
I think that is a 5-iron.
Okay.
But let's just see. They are very powerful. And how was the shot that he hit on 13 at Augusta on the last day? 272. That was a 4-iron. I know that's his longest club. That's his longest iron.
Frightening.
But you could see him gave that a little bit of pop. So he's got gears.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bryson working really hard on his pivot. So what is the mistake is he kind of gets a bit too much drift off that front leg, and then he spins open. He can't get enough pressure forward, so he's trying to kind of get the right balance of keep the pressure a bit more left, get the right side behind him, so he's got space to deliver the club from the inside and draw it. And if you weren't watching, that's Paul who's analysing the data on behalf of Sportsbox. So here we go. Bryson. Watch it like a punch.
What do you think Bryson's chances this week?
Amazing.
You think he's got a good chance around here?
I mean, I think it's discipline for him because I think, you know, is this he loves the course he can bully with his tee shots, right? He wants to destroy the course with power. And then there's a question mark is if this course can be destroyed by power or if it's precision.
I think he's got a bit more finesse in his game now than he used to, Bryson. I think he's showing that now.
Oh, I think he's matured. I mean, like coming out and saying like Augusta's a par 68 for me and all the stuff he said. You know, probably don't need to be the mouthing that off. But he was such a young guy. You have to forgive him for that. You can't hold that against people. So here we go.
The compression he has with his irons.
The hit is amazing.
Yeah.
Once you get into the drivers. We were saying earlier, if you didn't see the piece that he did with Nick Doherty in Sky Sports Open Zone, check it out because that was really like an insight into how he uses with his coach Dana Dahlquist the technology to measure what he can't see. I thought that was fascinating, and Nick did an amazing job of kind of bringing that data out of Bryson and getting him chatting.
Exactly. Yeah, it uses a lot of big words. Sometimes it gets a bit too scientific, but what I think he's learned to do is he's big on YouTube. A lot of youngsters love him. He's trying to make it simpler, trying to make it more understandable for everyone.
Yeah, but I think that's important. We need someone who's an entertainer, but there's no real value unless there's a knowledge there.
Exactly.
If you're not educating of what you're doing, then no one can follow you. You go down the path by yourself. That's not. We don't need our superstars to do that. So Bryson moving briskly through his routine, the fans pouring in. Amazing. Yeah. Nikon, one of our sponsors, has a great way of being able to bring people in, use the technology, get a better view of what's happening. Oh, so grateful to our sponsors.
He's going after these.
Yeah, Bryson just making sure he's got that draw ball in the bag. So you can see those are big draws, 134 feet of curve. So if you are in our galleries, and this stand behind here has been full of people since Monday, this is the view, this is the driving range, this is where it all happens. So now you want to have one of those yellow umbrellas. You see that? There it is. There's the umbrella.
Great.
That's what you want. That's the sign of a golfer. I'm going to say the sign of a golfer is the yellow brolly.
The amount of people in shorts, by the way,
which is
congratulations.
Yeah. Now, if you can't get into the merchandising tent, which is absolutely like an amazing place to go, scan that QR code, and you can do some online shopping. Get a yellow umbrella and join me, and that is the new mark of a golfer. So Bryson is there, and somewhere close is Di Stewart.
Thank you very much, Simon. Joined on the range by impressionist Connor Moore. Great to see you. I'm just going to turn my mic down because it's very loud in my ear. Really good to see you here at the Open Championship. Have you been to many? You've been to a few Opens.
I've been to all of them since 2018, except the one at St Andrews. One of my friends,
missed a good one.
He selfishly got married that week, and I missed it.
Why do people do that? Why do they plan weddings during the third week of July? Never do it. You might lose some friends, but well done for going to the wedding. Tell us about Royal Tree. Have you walked around the course at all?
I got here this morning, had a nice walk around.
Yeah,
I was just saying, it's incredible. It's my favourite major, the Open. Just something about it. It's real traditional and everything. I have to say, it's like such a great buzz, yeah.
And it's the most unpredictable of all the majors due to the fluctuation in the winning scores.
Yeah, everyone's always like, who's going to win? I'm like, I have no idea.
I know.
No one really has an idea anyway. It's a bit like
don't.
McConaughey's all of Fugazi, whatever. But no one has a clue.
They certainly don't. Now, you've been having lessons with Podrick Harrington.
Yeah.
And how have they been going?
Amazing. I met him at the Irish Open last year and I said, I says, will you give me some lessons one day or whatever? He says, yeah, no problem at all. He says, do you want to get good or do you want to get better? And I was like, both. You can't do both. You have to, if you want, if you want to get, do you want to get better or do you want to enjoy it more? He was saying the big stick you enjoy it more, but short game, whatever. So then he put out a statement that he could get anybody to single figures.
Right.
So I texted him. I said, can you get me? I've been playing off 15 for about 4 or 5 years, can't get down.
Yeah, I know,
so
you get stuck there, don't you?
He said, meet me at the K Club Friday week, blah, blah, blah. Went out, met him, and he just gave me a grilling down, and he was like, you are the worst golfer I've ever seen. So the only thing I've mastered in golf, well, for a long time, was the holding the finish. So I was very good at just going...
photo.
Exactly, yeah. So I just couldn't get it right. But anyway...
That's
I hadn't
hilarious.
broken 90 in about 18 months and did a day with Porrick, and a couple of weeks later I shot 76.
What?
So he was very happy with that.
Coach. Yeah, amazing. That's fantastic. And you played Pinehurst. You were just over 90, were you?
Yeah, 96. I played it a few days after the boys played it. So I was happy enough with the 96. I thought.
I think a lot of people at home will be incredibly impressed with that because it's difficult to shoot 100, especially straight after the pros.
Well, that's what people were saying in the greens. I had a 9 on a par 5 where I just couldn't keep it on the green.
Yeah.
Par 3 happened as well. So I had a 7 on a par 3. So it was tough. I was fairly happy with myself. 96.
I bet. I just loved it.
So was Porrick. What did you score? He was putting me under pressure for a few weeks. He was texting me, what did you score? How come you haven't broken 80 yet?
Yeah.
And I was really feeling the pressure. And then when I broke it, I texted him. And he was like, about time. And then he put up a thing online on Twitter, and he was like, well, that was quick. I was like, all right.
Do you know, I'm absorbing your accent because I absolutely love it. I love the way you say 3 as well.
3.
Oh,
33. I used to have a phone number, 331.
Oh, you could say it to me all day. You really could. Now, can I ask how Tiger Woods is doing?
Well, it's pretty tough out there, you know, but I'm feeling good. I'm driving the ball well. You know, my iron game is sharp, and I'm putting well. And, you know, right now it's just how I like it. There's no wind, no rain, and no Colin Montgomery.
Are you?
Sorry, Colin.
Are you going to play well this week?
Yes.
Okay. What about Rory? How's he faring?
Yeah, I'm really excited about today. Obviously, I'm just here taking a few shots. I don't want to be too loud and, you know, interrupt myself. I'm going through the flow right there on the range, but you know, I'm feeling good. I think today, a lot to contend with. Obviously, undulating fairways and greens, and I'm playing also with Terrell Hatton. So I think Sky Sports have us on a 10-second time delay anytime there might be an expletive. So if you're watching us on TV, we probably won't finish this first round till Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
I just saw him actually. That's very good. Speaking to Tony Finau, and Tony's got the same outfit on, all black, and a slightly purple top on. But Rory, you've gone for obviously the green T-shirt underneath.
I have, you know, this side, you know, a little bit of green. I think, you know, I was going to say Rocky. I'm thinking Rocky vibes, you know, for the comeback. This, you know, happened in 2011, where, you know, the Masters, you know, it didn't go well for me, and I came back and I won. So I'm expecting a big week.
Great
I think I'm going to win.
And what about Ian Poulter? Not here this week.
Yeah, I'm not here. It's unfortunate, obviously. The last Open that was here was 2016. On the Thursday, I shot 62. The Friday, I shot 64. Saturday, I shot 66, and the Sunday, I shot 61. I played amazing.
What, you must have won?
No, I actually shot that in Prestwick up the road. I didn't qualify to play that year. But, yeah, look, if I was playing today, I think I'd probably win it, but I'm not. So it is what it is, you know.
Oh, that is so good, Carlo, so good. You must... You speak to the players, you interact with them. Like, well, how do they react when you do these impersonations?
Yeah, so far so good. So far so good. I've not had any bad reactions. So,
great. I mean, you've gone global. It's exploded.
You kind of got to toe the line a little bit. There's some things you can do and you can't do. So, like, I try to keep it as I kind of like. You never want to get personal or anything, or if there's something real bad with someone.
Yeah.
I think if you avoid that kind of crack, like, you're all right. But, like, yeah. Hopefully, you know, because sometimes I do think, like if DJ walked by, I think he might swing a 5-iron at me, you know.
Well, he might be. I can't remember his tee time. He might be on very shortly. But Rory just saw you actually and gave a little cheeky smile, which was very nice. What about sort of accents from the continent? You know, the likes of I don't know, Sergio Garcia or something.
Yeah, I do. I think it's you know, obviously I was doing the qualifying. It wasn't good, you know, but obviously I got a big win last week. It was such a day. I know. England lost and Spain we beat.
Thanks.
It was so good, man. But, yeah, really excited for it. You know?
Oh, Connor, I could literally talk to you all day. What are you up to today?
I'm just going to go and watch some golf.
Yeah, good.
I came on for the day and I was delighted I got to do this nice and early. And it's like, I'm going to go watch some golf. Going to watch Shane. Going to watch Porrick. If he needs any advice off me, maybe I can give him advice.
Yes.
You know.
Oh, good. Can you throw back to commentary, please, as Rory, because we all want him to do well.
So yeah,
Connor,
we're live down here at the range. It's been a great day, and I'm throwing back to commentary there, and I'll see you Sunday when I'm picking up the claret jug.
He's a great fella. He's a good golfer. Wayne Riley has joined me.
He's a great chap. He loves his golf and a very talented individual. He's fun to be around.
He certainly is. Talented individuals. Bryson DeChambeau, how do you fancy his chances?
Yeah, it depends how he's going to take this golf course on. You know, it's sort of like when we got to Pinehurst, I wouldn't have thought that a golf course such as Pinehurst would suit him, but it did, obviously. He drives the ball very straight, but these pot bunkers here are so penalising. So it's going to be, look, we've got to see a lot of long iron shots, even though right here this could be an 8-iron. It looks like it's the length of a 4-iron, but they're all the same. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does off the tee. He can be patient out there, but if he can avoid those bunkers, you betcha. He's a contender.
Yeah, it's almost like you've got to temper your aggression around there, haven't you? You could just go, okay, listen, I'll just hit driver on the first 4 holes, but I mean, you're going to just throw in a double, aren't you?
You are eventually. Eventually they're going to catch up. It'll be interesting to see what he does off one. I imagine it'll be an iron. And here we are. Finau just aiming it down the right wing, you would think, which is turning it towards the bunker with a draw. That brings the bunkers into play when you play it back towards something.
So Bryson going through, closing part of his routine here pre-first round of the 152nd Open. So let's go find George Hopper Jr.
Hello, Simon. Hello, Radar. Great to be down here at the chipping green with none other than Rory McIlroy. Now, you two boys in the commentary box, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. You've got beautiful, beautiful hands. What are your thoughts between using a glove and not using a glove around the greens? Do you want more feel? Does the glove restrict that? What would you guys prefer?
Wayne Riley, what do you prefer? I was glove on for pitching and you know, little shots around the green. Were you glove on, glove off?
Yes, glove on.
Glove on, yeah.
Yeah, always glove on around the greens. When I was very young, I used to putt with the glove on as well. A little Nicholas in there, and yeah, I just copied him. But around the greens, I never really took the glove off because I used to practice for so many years with it on. It was such an adjustment to take it off. But most players started to take it off. Rory's, look, he's in the bunker.
Glove on.
Glove on.
Yeah, nice little change-ups there.
Rory McIlroy.
I guess early on in the...
Just getting used. Sorry, George. Here we go.
Well, I just think early in the chipping session, maybe, you know, bare hands on the club just to get a feel for it, and then now the glove comes on. It's obviously quite cold down here, so the glove's going to be nice, but this is a good-looking chipping green at the moment. We've got Max Homer, world #1 amateur, Gordon Sargent's here as well, so that's a nice place to be down here, and the wind just seems to be picking up ever so slightly as well. Well, Rory's pulling the string on a couple of these bunker shots, boys. Sand getting a little bit heavier. But wow, they have so much control out of the bunkers. It's so impressive. Ugh. Stop it, Rory. So precise, so quick, so easy. And I like that he's wearing all black as well. Geez, there is a serious glint in his eye. He is in some sort of zone. This is day one of a major. Goodbye, Rory, and goodbye, gentlemen in the commentary box.
There it is, early action. We are underway. 4 under par leads. Yu Hang Song. Wallace off to a fast start. He is 3 under after 5.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, I see myself making partner at this
Firm has been sold. What? To who? Some multinational outfit.
Dubai, where it's 7 a.m. and the temperature is very warm.
Welcome, Viv. This is Ben. Anything you need to know, he's your
lawfully wedded husband in good times and in
total chaos. Viv, what time are we expecting twins?
Life is rarely a straight line. Wherever it takes you, HSBC can help.
She's staring this one down, and for good reason. Look at this. Just delightfully done. She's on top of the world. Going directly at the hole. Tell you what, go on. Oh, get in there.
There's something about the AIG Women's Open.
Oh, my goodness.
Here he is with the Chief, the US Open champion. This will be full throttle. Hovering the club for a one-piece takeaway. It's going to be interesting to see how many times he uses that club today. I'd imagine I'll go for 6. A lot of 3-woods, a lot of long irons, a little bit of wind out there. We're never going to have the weather the same as we've had it for the practice rounds. There wasn't any wind at all. The golf course was there to be had. So, but now a little bit of wind about and a little bit of dampness in the air. The rough's going to be thick. Look at it. It's just stay out of it. Well, you try to anyway. Always a big entourage with Bryson DeChambeau. He brings his own chef, probably a pilot, the whole lot. It's a cast of thousands. Left foot just slipped a little there, and the left foot toes sort of pented towards the toe, just slipped a little bit of moisture, so that happens. That doesn't usually happen with Bryson's swing.
So Rory McIlroy is back on the range after hitting a few bunker shots.
Just winding down.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, he'll have been in the gym, he'll have been stretched, he's been in the physio, the whole thing. He's ready to go. Maybe just rehearsing that first tee shot, just going through that, what he's going to use off the first tee.
Oh, I think we'll definitely see him hitting an iron, standing next to the Ryder Cup captain there, the American team, Bethpage Black.
That'll be some competition. Solheim Cup this year. Our girls led by Suzanne Pedersen. Fantastic chance to go and win, I should say, the Solheim in America.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for the European Tour to win at Bethpage next year. That's going to be a hard gig.
Oh, winning away from home now is almost...
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's seriously tough. And then we go to where I think is going to be the greatest Ryder Cup of all time, Adair Manor. I imagine Tiger will be captain of the American team there.
Yeah.
Who will be the European captain? I don't know.
I don't know. That is a good question. Who's... I mean, if Luke Donald wins in Bethpage, do they ask him to do it again?
Ireland, do they give Paul Ray Harrington another go?
Yeah.
Great mates with JP McManus, the owner of Adair Manor.
What a place that is. If you haven't had a chance to go, it's
incredible.
it's like an Augusta, but in Europe.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's incredible. It's an incredible place, and the building and the improvements that JP McManus has made. Wonderful part of the world.
Yeah, Tom Fazio redesigned it. Some young fans in the background. Will they head out with Rory McIlroy, do you think, Wayne?
Oh, he'll be dragging a huge crowd. I'm out with Tiger this afternoon, so it's that's going to be a big crowd as well. And it's a situation I've been asked, how do you think Tiger will go? Well, we don't really know. I mean, you know, if he can win another major, I believe this type of golf, links golf, is
yeah, it's more suited to him.
Yeah,
yeah,
he can get it going on the ground.
Yeah, interesting. So Rory McIlroy, hands on the club, soft hands on the club, then the pressing down of the pelvis, and then the rising, the explosion of the rising. There is his record, 2014 Royal Liverpool. It was amazing, but look, he's run close. Wayne Riley, look at that. He's always there, isn't he?
He certainly is. Yeah, had a chance at Carnoustie. Francesco Molinari's year, it wasn't to be, but very consistent, as he is in every championship. But he's always under the microscope, is Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, and now the longer it goes, the more intense it is. When does he win his next major? The young fans, such a crucial part of the game. Our club, Fox Hills, does a great junior program.
Yes.
I'm always impressed by the way that they get the juniors through the program there, coach a lot of the juniors in terms of their technique, the etiquette, everything. Crucial part of the future of the game, Wayne.
Wonderful facilities, great practice facilities, a par 3 golf course there for the youngsters, 2 wonderful courses, the Long Cross and the the Hunt course. So it's, yeah, it's a great facility down there. We are very lucky. I tell you what, he's swinging it well, isn't he?
He is. He's looking at our shot track. He's looking at our top tracer technology. There it is on the massive monitor. Been very lucky to have. We've really brought the driving range to life. There it is. Rory McIlroy, driver now in hand. This is going to be interesting. Yesterday, he was just teasing the field, Wayne Riley. 3:45 was his carry.
His carry?
His carry was 3:45. So here we go. This is the pattern of shots that Rory McIlroy... No, these are, sorry, I beg your pardon. These are the longest drives this morning. Longest carries. A little bit wet, a little bit cold. Okay, this is Rory's, sorry, and this is Rory's fireworks show. This is what he's done today from the wedges all the way up through. And on the right side, currently, is 320 leading. That will not be the case, I should say, in the next 6 shots.
No, that's, I'm just looking up at that. Matt Wallace, 320. Can he carry it 320? I didn't know that. He's longer through the air than Bryson. I mean, that's just incredible. Matt's put on a few yards.
So Rory McIlroy's first tee shot appears at 300. Let's just see what happens in the next few minutes. Here it is.
Heavy air out there now.
Yeah, it is very, very much
Ball's
so.
not going very far.
No.
Or for us.
So cleaning the balls, that's absolutely crucial. If you're playing at home, got to have a clean golf ball, got to have a clean driver club face. No grip, you can get a slider. So let's have a look and see what Rory's got. Just makes swinging a golf club look easy, Wayne.
Yes, it does. It's natural. So very natural. That's ripped.
That's the shot he's looking for.
That's ripped.
184. 154 apex. You wouldn't see that land. You're out there a lot.
I'd see mine land.
Yeah, God, I'd see mine land too. I'd see your land as well anyway. Ah.
Setting up for a fader here. We just got a soft draw.
Little baby draw. So.
There's the slider.
Yep. 183 ball speed, just cruising through it. Rory is getting ready to go, and it is not long now. 10:09, he is game 20. He's got Tyrrell Hatton and Max Homa for company. That's a good draw, isn't it? That's
Lovely
a great
draw.
game to watch.
Yeah.
And good for Rory, I think, as well.
Great characters. All 3 of them.
Rory just having a look at the monitor there. I don't think he's going to want to leave Matt Wallace at the top of this little mini leaderboard we've got for longest carries.
I don't think he can get there. I think the air's too heavy to carry it further 320.
Let's just have a look. Need like a 187 ball speed. So a little bit more jump out of that.
Yep.
Oh, that's longer. 314. Yeah, Rory's going to be having a look at that. I'm pretty sure 187 ball speed, maybe a hair too much spin on that.
Well, you don't want to watch. You want to watch it here. You don't want to stand there and start chasing Matt Wallace to have the longest drive on the practice fairway. It's, you know.
He's Rory McIlroy.
It's great to watch. I love all this.
He's just going through the
stuff,
gears.
But, you know, you just don't want to start there and start thrashing it because.
Watch this. He's going through the gears. This would be 325.
Well, what do you win? A packet of his and hers towels if you get the longest for the day. These guys flies around.
No, he just wants to. He's just sending a message, guys.
What?
Just so you know, you're not as long as me.
He's got 18 yards to go, Simon. It's too heavy. It's going nowhere.
Okay, this is the lower tee, so this I think is the lower
Squeezer.
flight. Yeah, the whole of the ball below the top of the club here. This will be around 100 feet high, 100 apex. That is a good-looking swing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, a little soft draw. He tried for the little squeezer, as you said, but
75 apex, that's really strong.
And then it'll run like a ferret.
A ferret's fast?
Ferrets run fast, yeah.
Do they? Here we go, Rory McIlroy, flat carry 287, longest is 320. This is the stinger shot as well here. The last stinger was great. Exactly what he wanted. I just love, you know, the top of the backswing, he's so able to support that, and the finish, he's so able to support that. It's like the ends of both movements are so crisp, aren't they?
Yeah. No, it's a proper swing. Sometimes he can get a little loopy when he isn't swinging at his best. He gets it a little on the outside and then drops it inside and gives it a little loop.
Yeah.
But that's not happening there. If he can get it just inside on the backswing, he's set on playing and he can just go right ahead. And
yeah. I like it when his arms are a little bit softer. That right arm, I think, sometimes gets a bit too rigid. It is now hosing down, and Matt Wallace's shot, I should say, is pretty safe. Let's see if he just goes for, is that a little higher? So we've seen him hit the stinger. This is the launcher. He knows Matt Wallace has got 320. He's going to diss Matt Wallace. So, Rory McIlroy. Can you bully this golf course with your driver?
No. Well, you can. Yeah. But over 4 days, make it to the weekend. I mean, Rory McIlroy sure will make it to the weekend, but eventually you come undone. And you find one of those bunkers and it goes up the wrong spot, or it goes in the back of the bunker, you can make a 7.
Yeah.
So it's just, you've just got to tick-tack your way around the golf course.
Michael Bannon hanging on for dear life. I met his wife and his son, I think Fergus, yesterday in the evening. That's what's great about Troon. Everyone's sort of camping into little restaurants and all sorts of things. McIlroy hydrating.
Yeah.
Crucial part of your fitness, of your focus.
It's a special time of the year, the Open Championship. The noises, the smells, it's always...
Yeah, everything's like dampened, isn't it? You know when snow comes and all the sounds are dampened?
Yeah.
Thursday, it's like everything's dampened.
Yeah.
There's a noise on Wednesday that you don't hear for the rest of the week. Cheers you hear, but from the players and the caddies, the volume just goes down as it gets more serious.
Well, it'll be down today because everyone will be holding umbrellas.
And here we go. Keegan Bradley, Ryder Cup captain.
He's spending a lot of time on the range, Holmesy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Rory
It's a lot of shots, yeah.
Hit some balls, and then all of a sudden he went over and chipped.
Yeah.
Flopped a few bunker shots in his back, hitting some wedges, and some drivers, now some long irons.
Yeah.
He means business.
I think that's right. It is 9:44 right now. He goes off at 10:09, and he still needs to probably hit a few putts, and he still needs to get himself over to the first tee, get his scorecard, so he won't be here for long.
No, it's a 10-minute walk over there to the putting green. Well, 8 minutes probably. The putting green right next to the first tee. You walk through a little tunnel out to that first tee, and you look straight out on the water. All set to go out there and play Royal Troon in an Open Championship, the 152nd edition. Marvellous.
It is. Rory just working on a few wind shots. He's become a better wind player, hasn't he? He was more one-dimensional when he first started. Hit it high, didn't really embrace links golf. He's changed all that. He's got his head in the right place, I think, now.
Yeah, I played with him. Nick Doherty and myself played with him not long ago down in West Palm Beach. He'd been his dad, and we went out and played, and it was a very windy day. and incredible the way he can flatten the ball flight out now with the three-quarter follow through. And no, he can play in any conditions.
Were you at Seminole?
That's where we were.
That is some place. A little bit linksy, in a sense.
That kind of thing. Really fast greens, exposed to the elements.
Sandy, slopey.
Yeah.
The young fans applaud McIlroy. Waterproofs are on. McIlroy and Mike Bannon and Harry Diamond head to the putting green with high hopes, and we wish them well. So a bounce in the step, a smile in the face, greetings to someone. Great to see. So let's head back down onto the driving range and find Di Stewart.
Thank you, Simon. It is fair to say it's a little bit dreek down here, Beamer. Great to see you, Rich, this morning.
Does dreek, does that translate into Texan as in this is crap?
It's not great. It's not wonderful weather, and yeah, possibly does. We've just seen Rory go off the driving range, and I'm going to lower my voice actually because I've just realised we are very close to the players. That's what you get here live at the range. Keegan Bradley is just behind us, the Ryder Cup captain, Rich.
Yeah.
What did you make? I don't think I've got your thoughts on it. What did you make of that announcement?
You know, I kind of like what the PGA of America said. You know, kind of thinking outside the box a little bit. You know, they've recycled a lot of the captains as of late, and I think that maybe a little bit of a fresh perspective, a fresh injection of somebody that lives, breathes, dies by the fact that he wanted to be on the Ryder Cup team last time when it was in Rome. Didn't make it, wasn't a captain's pick, you know, missed out on qualifying by just a couple of spots, but I think that's what you want. I think that's what you need. You need to have somebody in there that wants to be there. I'd love to see them have captains do a home and an away, because I think what they learn at the home game, they can then take on the road with them to the away game, and I think be more prepared. Keegan would absolutely probably do that without hesitation, but again, there's a pecking order, there's a list of players that probably want the Ryder Cup captaincy, Tiger being on top of that list, but just decided that it wasn't time for him to do it next year at Bethpage Black. But I think it's a great move by the PGA of America, the Ryder Cup Selection Committee, and I'm happy to see him have the captaincy. I think he's going to inject a lot of energy into it and want to be in there, and I think he's going to be able to do the same thing with the players.
He wants to be player captain. Not an easy feat to do.
You know, from what I've heard from a couple of other folks, most notably Rory McIlroy, is that, you know, seeing exactly what it takes to become a captain and to get through the week as a captain and a player, you know, it's hard to do both because you expend so much energy. You know, I think Rory said it perfectly. He says, you know, I couldn't imagine having to do Luke's job and play in Rome because I was absolutely spent. I had no more energy on Sunday night, and Luke had no more energy on Sunday night. So how could you possibly do both and get away with it? So again, you know, it's going to be up for him to decide that. And if he surrounds himself with some really good vice captains and things like that, that might kind of be able to hang on to the reins and do it all. But there's a lot that goes into being a captain. It's not just picking players and picking teams and sending them all out. There's a lot more that goes into it.
Yeah, I mean, he said he would only play if he qualified automatically. It's obviously very hard to pick yourself as a wild card.
That's exactly right.
Keegan's moved away now, but it was a flurry of activity, wasn't there, when Rory was on? So, but this weather, teeing off in this weather, it's not pleasant, really, is it?
No,
but it's what we expect at the Open.
Yeah, and you know, it's probably harder to tee off in weather like this, or at least I believe that, because you know, you want to get away that opening tee shot and be comfortable, and there's nothing comfortable about playing this wind. I'd rather have it just be overcast and blowing, and then have this come in on the second or third shot or the second or third hole. But starting off, you know, in the most difficult of conditions that we've seen so far this morning, with this rain starting to pelt down at a pretty good clip, and it's dropped temperature a few degrees as well. it's going to be a tough start for these guys right now. So, this is going to be challenging, and for how long ever this keeps up, this is going to cause some of the guys some issues, especially going out, which is supposed to be the easier of the two nines.
Yes.
Right now, it's not acting like it.
Oh, and do you know what? That wind is picking up as well. So Rory tees off with Max Homer and Tyrrell Hatton. Thanks, Rach. Thanks for now. Let's get back to commentary. We're going to try and get warm for a little bit. Back to you, Simon.
Yeah, thank you, guys. That looks pretty miserable down there. Difficult day. It is day one of the 152nd Open. So, one of our 12 amateurs, I think that is, Gordon Sargent. He is the #1 amateur in the world. Vanderbilt University's won the NCAAs, and he absolutely smacks it. Have a look at this. Young back.
Yeah.
Pretty flexible there, Wayne.
We're going to see a lot of him. They come out of college now so strong and prepared. I don't know why we call them amateurs now, to be perfectly honest. I think they're all professionals by the time they're 18 years of age. I mean, these guys are full-on pros. They play like pros as soon as they come out.
Yeah, the US college system has absolutely become...
Nailed it.
The formation of talent. They take talent, they nurture it for 4 years, they give you an education, but man, they support everything you need. The physical side, the mental side, the technology, the practice facilities. The US college system invests a lot and gets a lot back. Gordon Sargent, an example of that. 12 amateurs, as we said, in this field. That's the most since 1987.
So he's a standout favourite, Sargent.
Absolutely, he's the man. So he's your #1 player. Just cruising.
I wonder when he's going to turn pro.
Well, I would think he's going to stay at Vanderbilt until he graduates. So he was amazing in the Walker Cup at St Andrews and the Eisenhower. So the US has dominated.
Oh, it's ugly out there. Look at this weather sort of going, and wind and rain. I'm going out there at 2 o'clock with Tiger Woods. Oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it?
Really, yeah.
Oh, it's going to be.
That's your... those are, I should say, winners of the amateur. We just watched Jacob Skofolason. He had a fantastic victory in horrendous conditions. Christo Lamprecht, he surprised us. He's about 6'9", and he absolutely thumps it. So, there you go. Who will add their names in 2025? The RNA is the custodian of the most important events at every level. So let's have a look at the leaders. They are out on the golf course, Wayne Riley. Some players will be making a move over the first few days.
Good swing.
Very good.
Really good. So weak left hand.
Yeah.
We were discussing that the other day, Simon, in the respect of I'm a fan of 3-knuckle, looking down as a right-hander down the left arm and seeing 3 knuckles. But not with him, it's weak. A lot of the newish players have weak left-hand grips.
There is. Yuhang Song has dropped 1 to go back to 3. He is caught by Matt Wallace, and the pack are chasing.
There's no way I should be here. I should be dead or in prison. I mean, how else would you gauge this? When a guy comes off of a cotton farm, you know, to become one of golf greats? Are you kidding me?
He hit the flagstick, and the crowd erupts.
He just stormed onto the scene.
And he has put it in again.
He's a magician.
He's got it.
I never had any dreams about going on tour. I didn't know anything about it.
His story's amazing. His journey's amazing.
What a great shot.
We were poor. We needed money to buy food.
Rufino, 1-year-old, broke.
It didn't belong. I knew it didn't belong.
It was unbelievable. And he put up with a lot.
That past is so painful to him.
I would like to forget it, to tell you the truth.
Our culture has a short memory. I think it's time for us to be reintroduced to the Dreamino.
I'm playing for my life out here, you know?
It is the American dream.
Why, oh, why?
He hustled the world.
Well, that's not looking good, is it? So we have, in the last 3 days since Monday morning, been live on the range. We're using our Top Tracer technology to bring you more and more insight into the game. And at the beginning of the week, Peter Finch went behind the scenes to see how it all comes together.
So we're here on the range at the Open with Oscar from Top Tracer, and we just wanted to talk a little bit about what Top Tracer is and exactly how it's enhancing everyone's perspective of the Open. So I think, first of all, could you just give an overview about what Top Tracer actually is?
For sure, yeah. So Top Tracer started as our founder, Daniel Forsgren. He wanted to revolutionize the way you watch golf on TV. It didn't make sense that he didn't catch the ball in the air. So there came the famous trace, right? The line that's now ubiquitous in every broadcast everywhere. So that's how it all started. Our tech, I think it is probably at its best display at the Open, at a links course, where the weather is really affecting shots, hitting it low, hitting it high, curving it. Like, you can really show that trajectory.
As the players are here on the range and they're striping their shots away into the distance, how does the Top Tracer technology actually see the ball, track the ball?
It's pretty cool, right? There's no tech really out here. If we look behind us here, we have cameras set up here, and these are our state-of-the-art cameras. You can view these as like expert eyes, and they watch the ball flight. 2 cameras watching the same object, following the full ball flight, and that's how we produce the traces on the screen.
So is it magic?
Kind of is, right?
I think this is probably one of the best things about the range as well, because obviously people in the grandstand, they're watching the shots.
Yeah.
But if you want to understand what the ball flight is doing and what those numbers mean, that's where they can see it pretty much instantly.
For sure. From this iPad that Stu has here, he can literally pick any player here, put them up on the screen. This is the technology that we have at our 1,000+ Top Tracer ranges, same thing that we give the players here. But what people watching this are maybe more familiar with when it comes to Top Tracer is our broadcast technology. So we might just pop over if you're keen to have a look in the TV compound, because that's where some real broadcast magic happens.
Absolutely.
Let's go. So this is our humble abode.
Here.
Welcome into the Oscar, Pete.
Thank you. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. So my intrusive thoughts are really winning. Why does I press that?
You want to do that?
What would happen?
Please don't.
I just don't understand why. I'm not usually let near things like this. Can you explain why there are 5,000 computers in here?
This is the place that makes the Open look as great as it does out on TV, right?
Right, okay.
These 2 racks here, that's what does all the broadcast work for Top Tracers. So these guys do the heavy lifting from everything that is captured by our cameras out on the course, relayed back here, and then fed out to all the broadcasts all over the world. This is where the broadcast magic really happens.
This is incredible. I genuinely didn't know this was like what it was like behind the scenes.
So all of my colleagues right here and the crew from MSC Systems, they're looking at the screens, making sure that they annotate every player.
So have you got traces on every tee?
We do, yeah. So every tee this here is covered, and then we have 2 roving systems that are going around and capturing shots from the fairway.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pete. Thanks for the interest.
And any Top Tracer you see around the course this week, it's coming from here.
Fascinating technology, and they have really brought the range to life with that all the visualizations and the data. So you can see at home the same data that the players are looking at, and that makes you more a part of the game. And that is the whole point of our Live at the Range show, to give you that insight. So wind has really picked up in the last 10 minutes, I should say. We have had some rainstorms come popping through, but that wind, the strongest of the week so far, Wayne?
It was always going to happen. I mean, you get 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and there's no wind whatsoever. But I did a little cross yesterday, and I knew this was going to happen. It was just, there's no way in the world. The preparation the players actually had for the first 3 days of practice was pretty poor. It's not what you wanted. You needed some wind.
Not representative. I was talking to Francesco Molinari, and he said, you know, I'm going to go out there, but it's not going to be anything like what I'm going to experience. No. So I'll just have to try to visualize the numbers. Anyway, there it is. The yellow umbrella, the signature move and mark of a proper golfer. Here it is. This is the 152nd. But please scan the QR code, enter the ballot. We are totally sold out this week. And if you want to join us in Portrush, you better get your skates on, get your name in the list for some Irish magic, joined with the best golf tournament in the world. We've had so many fans, so much interaction from you. We thank you for that. If you have any questions for us, it's at the open range. Come and join the conversation. We will get back. We will get sort of as many answers as we possibly can. We've had a look really at the first 6 holes. And Wayne Riley, take us through the 7th.
Well, the 7th hole's a lovely little par 4. You stand on the tee, you can just see the green in the distance over these dunes. An elevation change, it goes down there, and you've got bunkers dotted everywhere. Look at them, they are just like little magnets. 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and 2 way down there if you pull the driver. It's a birdie hole, it's big and wide right here between the first 2 bunkers, and that leaves you about a 9-iron from there. But if you really want to get down here into the bottleneck, it's a wedge. And it's a green that tilts from left to right and then right to left. So it's a bowl-shaped green, and it's very difficult with a decent shot not to get it close. It'll play under its par of 4 this week. And then we get to the postage pad. Over we come, over the huge grandstands. You can't feel the wind on this tee because it's so protected by those big bleachers. Bunker over there on the left, that isn't popular. The front one there is, because there's a false front and the ball will just meander its way down into that bunker, and you don't want it to go in there awkwardly.
Change lines again. The 9th is 440. Those 2 bunkers that you can see there, they are 296 from the back tee. So you are mostly planning a shot that finishes short at them. Aim at those, but don't go in them. And that leaves you 130, 133 to the front, 150 from there as we go past into this kind of protected green. No bunkers. Pins on the back right, difficult to access. That's your front 9. The scoring 9. The 10th is blind and difficult. The 11th and then the rest are really very, very challenging. So you can see Royal Troon has the longest hole. That is the 6th, Turnberry, 623. And the shortest hole at 123, which may even this week be shorter than that, and that is the iconic postage stamp. You are at Royal Troon. This is the 152nd Open Championship. The range is quiet for a moment, which gives us a fantastic opportunity to go and find George Harper Jr.
Well, we're ducking for a little bit of cover, and to stay warm, we need some company. So we're going to be joined by the RNA's Golf Global Development Ambassador, one of them, because there's plenty of them, and the familiar face of none other than Brian Habana, former South African Rugby International World Cup champion. Here we go. How are you, mate?
Oh, Georgie, so good to be here, coming into the range, walking past Rory McIlroy. I'm like, I'm a kid at Christmas, I'm a kid at Christmas. I think an absolutely epic tournament with so much history and so much on the line for so many, but weather probably not ideal conditions today, but that means that the best of the best come out. So brilliant to be here, the RNA and what they're doing around the foundation work, getting people back into golf. I think 3.5 million people, that we had extra added into the golf pot last year, which was fabulous. I was in Leopard Creek earlier this year with the RNA and the Africa Amateur Championship, which was absolutely brilliant. You fought with crocodiles.
I did, yeah. Brian was very scared. You certainly didn't like the crocodiles.
I'm a land mammal. Crocs aren't supposed to be on land, George. But your Kiwi Crocodile Dundee-ness came through very much so.
Oh, thank you. Very much appreciate that. But, mate, how cool is it to be, I guess you've spent a lot of time in stadiums and rugby stadiums and playing at the highest level. What's it like to watch the highest level of golfers and get involved in another sport as well?
Absolutely brilliant. The sort of skill set that golfers have, the discipline, the accuracy and the work ethic. I was fortunate enough to sort of wake up pretty early doors, watch Justin Leonard tee off on the first at 6:35 this morning, and just the aura around a major, the aura around the Open Championship was pretty spectacular. Golf is a brilliant leveler for so many of us. I love my golf. I'm an absolutely horrendous golfer. I lost my swing about 41 years ago, and I've just turned 41. But I think the elements that golf gives, to be out in nature, be walking, enjoying people, social aspect, and it's not just what the pros do. We've seen so many rises of golf, whether it be sort of indoor within the screens, whether it be things like putt, and it's just so cool. So love the sport. Within the rugby circles, you'll know it's very competitive. I've got my fellow mascot ambassador Dan Carter coming into town today, and I have brought 1 or 2 clubs. I'm not quite sure we've been able to drive anymore, so we've gone from driving to a chipping contest, and given the conditions we might end up putting, Georgie. But golf is brilliant. We as rugby players try to get on it as much as possible and fit it in the schedule, and I think the beauties of the sport are just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, well, Dan and I have probably been avoiding you since 2023 Rugby World Cup in France. Certainly got the win there, but you've also got a lot of hecklers here. Now you've come to the UK after Ireland just got a sneaky victory in the weekend.
I wouldn't say it is a sneaky victory. Unfortunate for the South Africans, but what an absolutely epic test series. And
you were there sideline, weren't you?
I was sideline. It's probably the bloodiest game I've ever seen. I think there was blood flowing all around. But kudos to the Irish, the longest season they've ever had. Going back to South Africa, having never won a series, losing the first test, and putting in a performance that was absolutely epic. And I think what that does do is, at the top tier, between the 1 to 6 teams in the world, the competition is so rife, and it makes for such more engaging rugby. And unfortunately now, the jury will always be out until the next time we meet about who the best team in the world actually is. Having lost to Ireland, but yeah, having won a World Cup, it was a cliffhanger of a series, and the South Africans will go into a rugby championship wanting to rectify that. But kudos to the Irish, Mr. Frawley came in pretty strongly.
Nice, and I don't want to put you on the spot here on who you're going to pick to win, but who are maybe some of your favourites and who you're looking forward to watching, and who would you like to win this week?
Yeah, Ernie's going really well on the seniors tour. It'll be absolutely epic to see the big easy come.
Poetry, be big poetry.
It'll be absolutely poetry. I do think there is a romance around, and like I walked past Rory coming in, and he loves his rugby as well. I do think St Andrews 2 years ago had the makings of a fairy tale. It didn't come out for Rory, and I think he is searching, to close out that Grand Slam, and I think we'd all love it to see him go out there. But you look at what Bryson DeChambeau's doing, Scotty Scheffler, and the manner in which he's just dominating world golf at the moment is brilliant. So yeah, I think Scotty and Bryson are probably the front runners. Bryson's coming in with a lot of good form, and I think it's because he loves rugby so much. I would love to see Rory go on and do something special.
Fair enough. Well, Brian, it's great to have you here. Great to, I guess, see your love of the game and helping us grow the game of golf as well. So thanks for your time and enjoy the Open.
Thank you very much. Let's grow the game even more.
All right, back to you guys in the box.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? Golf is such an amazing sport. It's like Henman here, Brian O'Driscoll's here. It's the sport that they all retire to, Wayne Riley.
Yes. I've played a lot with Tim Henman, well, a few times with Tim Henman, member of Sunningdale. Good player.
Good player.
Never shuts up.
Never an annoying player to be with.
But he's great fun. He's a good player. Plays off scratch, I think.
You need those, what do you call them? Noise-cancelling headphones. Anyway, Rory was here earlier. So was Bryson. Let's have a look at their fireworks show. There it is. Blue for Bryson, red for Rory. Fascinating. Okay, sorry. Blue is Rory. And red for Bryson. Ryder Cup colours. Interesting to see. Well, Matt Wallace just snuck out in front. But I'm going to say when Bryson was hitting and Rory was hitting, it was way wetter. So maybe just...
Yeah, it was much heavier.
Yeah. Fascinating to see. Look how many shots they hit before Bryson. Look how many drivers Bryson hits before he goes out. And Rory was doing a big old short game session. Fascinating. So when you come screeching into the car park 2 minutes before your tee time, throw your shoes on and get up on the first tee and duff it, it's all in the preparation, Wayne Riley.
Certainly is. Yeah, you got to get in here. So we've got some late starters and just warming up by themselves.
Oh, that is the flusher. That is David Puig from Spain. A standout amateur player. He has really been a superstar as an amateur. He was at ASU, that's Arizona State University. Put in a lot of effort to be here at the Open. He's gone to Asia to play in tournaments to try to qualify. I respect the effort. He loves the game. He's part of that great kind of Spanish armada. Josh Antman, our colleague, did a fantastic interview with him yesterday. So if you want to learn more about David, check that out. That was in Sky Sports Open Zone. But I can tell you, it's a name to watch. Fantastic short game. Phil Mickelson told me yesterday he thinks that he's got a better short game than Puig's got a better short game than Mickelson does.
Really? That's a big compliment.
So here it is. His top tracer. Fascinating just to be able to see how the players are using the technology. So he's watching what you're watching. You are really a part of this. So you can see what he's looking at to get his feedback. Some amazing talent.
Yeah, nice soft draws there as well.
Yeah.
Nice to see someone hitting a soft draw and not these leaky fades all the time. Okay, the leaky fades listen more than a draw, but that's old style ball flight right there.
Very tall, you know, sort of trim body. But I'll tell you what, some speed. Have a look at this swing. So really feels the club face so well. One of those sort of Spanish golfers. So, and in through the ball, you can see really pushing that down and then up. Very impressed by the way he's conducted himself. Very impressed by the fact that he put in so much effort when he didn't need to get to be here. He's gone to Asia. He's been trying to scrape world ranking points together to find his way here, and he is most welcome. Great for us to be able to watch his skills this week. Just going through his warm-up. 168 in the wet. Wayne Riley, 8 iron.
Yeah, well, it's a it looks like a little bit more of a 7, but the thing is, what's this draw? It just amazes me. Like I love it. I mean, at the end of the day, it takes off a little right. Look, it's just tailed to the left. That's old school. That's Watson.
Yeah.
That's
no,
Watson back in the day, 5-time Open champion. You don't see that very often now with the with professional golf. They all kind of leak it the other way at right-handers. And
yeah. I went out there with Dave Phillips, who's the Titleist performance guy who coaches John Rahm, who coaches David. Fascinating just to see their work that they're doing on the fitness, avoid injuries, and then just the skill set. It's fascinating. Just watch their kind of their back nine. They started on 11th tee and then just fed themselves in there. Really interesting to see Mickelson, Rahm, and David working through different shots. The senior players trying to help the junior player.
This kid doesn't hit a bad shot.
I'm telling you, this is really I think this is one of the most this is like Ludwig Ahlberg, absolutely the same thing. Standout amateur, standout young pro. That's pure talent, but a very, very charming man. Just working his way through his clubs, just getting exactly the right calibration. That's Alberto, that's his caddy.
Interesting, he hasn't changed clubs.
No, look at that right thumb.
It is an 8-iron, you're bang on.
Yeah.
Look at the right hand,
Right
it's very
thumb.
strong.
Yeah.
Under.
And he plays all of his shots. It was fascinating to me. He played almost shots like with a really open, lofted 60, and then just moved the face through the ball. Like just closed it down. Really a shot maker, an artist, much more than a scientist. Just checking the time. It's 10:16 right now. He is playing at 10:53. That's with John Catlin and Gun Tak Ko. Game 24.
That is unorthodox, that grip. The right hand is well under.
Yeah, the right thumb kind of nestles over. He has that in his short game as well, but he hit some bunker shots where I was just like, okay, I haven't really seen anyone.
Well, there are so many ways to do it now.
Yeah, but
you
that's
look at Scotty Scheffler. I mean,
yeah.
You look at the great Eamon Darcy. I mean, there's so many ways you can get the ball in the hole. Just get it in the hole in less shots than other people.
They're just working the face through. Nice little baby fade. See the ribbon fade there. There it is. So you can see really sits underneath there, but the right thumb kind of sits really underneath it. Just feeling the face in his hands and then using sort of very, very efficient sequence and motion. Nice high finish. Really watching the ball, you know, see, watch Bryson hit a shot. Bryson doesn't watch the ball, he watches the monitor. He's really kind of feeling, he's an older style swing. Now have a look at this move with his legs through the ball. So very stable, limited turn, and then just an explosion of down and up through the ball at very, very high left side. But tons of speed and tons of talent and fight and determination. And we're running a few pictures there. There is Phil Mickelson. There's the hand. Almost got like one of those FootJoy waterproof gloves on. You see that? Not the leather glove, but the other glove. He's looking to see what you're seeing.
It's an athletic move. I mean, everything is correct bar the grip. I mean, the grip is, well, it's not the grip you teach. Not to say it's a bad grip, but it's, you can see everyone at home, it's under. You usually like that V in your forefinger and your thumb going up your right arm, and so that right hand would be a little more over being a right-hander.
Yeah, you kind of have that more together, right?
Yeah, it's what we call, he strangles it. I mean, he strangles the grip. I mean, and that's just the way he does it under there. But he's weak with the left hand and he's strong with the right, so they compensate each other. But watch the athleticism in this swing. It's very, very good. Nice high finish. It's all great. Yep. Look, when you look at Jim Furyk and all these players, wonderful players, you know, they swing it differently. Back in the day when I was young, it was like, well, you've swung it differently. It wasn't great, but you learn that, as I said before, it's just a matter of getting it in the hole in less shots than anyone else. It doesn't have to be pretty.
No, I think what happens is as soon as people started to use video cameras and sort of see their swings, there was an importance about copying and modeling. Now you're not really looking at video cameras for swings, you're looking at ball data and technology,
right,
which means that the optics of your swing don't matter as much as your output of the data. So you have to model yourself around that, not around the cosmetics of your swing. Everyone tried to copy Faldo.
Yeah, well, that's right. I had dinner with Faldo last night. An interesting conversation. I mean, but he was well ahead of his time. You know, if I would have had all the
It's his
The
birthday
data that
today.
these players had, I reckon I would have run at least 15 or 16 majors. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about that.
I think there's a foregone conclusion.
I think, yeah.
Happy birthday, by the way, Sir Nick Faldo. Happy birthday, Sir Nick Faldo, wherever you are, which is not very far away from here, tucked up somewhere.
Oh, he'll be around, easy.
In the warm.
He's around, he's in good form.
What a great player, Nick Faldo. Here we go. Now, it's a shame that that towel is covering over that name, but that is Elvis Smiley.
Well, bless my soul.
I don't know if we need any. I don't know if we need any of that. Elvis Smiley.
His mother is a very famous Australian tennis player.
That's right, Wimbledon.
Liz Smiley.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, comes from a very, very famous sporting family back in Australia.
Yeah. Won the Wimbledon doubles title in 1985 with Kathy Jordan. And then the mixed doubles with John Fitzgerald 6 years later. How about that?
Yeah.
So, he's an Aussie. Wayne.
Yeah.
He qualified and he beat Brandon Grace.
In a playoff?
In a little playoff to get in.
Where was that held at?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't say.
At Royal St. Port's.
Royal St. Port's, lovely down there.
Yeah. How about that?
His first, I saw him yesterday. He was out there playing with Scotty, Adam Scott, and I said, "How you liking it, Elvis?" He says, "Oh, mate," he went, "Mate, this is the best championship in the world."
There you go. Elvis Smiley. Just working a little bit on takeaway and playing under the supervision of somebody there. So, just with a lobber, clipping them some away. Very deliberate. Kind of opposite from David Puig, who's hit 40 balls already. Now, Wayne, how about the little scraper, the groove scraper attached to the belt? Are you a fan of that? I put that into the category of the useless gifts that you used to get from your grandmother.
He likes to give the grooves a little bit of a scrub.
Hey?
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's
What
one
do
of those.
you think about that? Now,
Well,
Zach
I've
Johnson
seen some
had one
things
that-
in my time. I was a member, I was a junior professional at a place in Sydney called Cronulla Golf Club. Now, we had people that had different things. They'd have one of those scrapers, but we had old members. They were so miserable with their money that they used to tie fishing line to tees and tie it to their belt buckle. So when the tee flew off, it'd just fly back to them so they wouldn't lose it. Miserable.
Oh,
hey,
I'm not sure. You did well to leave that.
No, I'm still a member, actually.
Elvis Smiley, there it is. There she is. The yellow umbrella, the new mark of a proper golfer. So we saw Matt Wallace leading longest drive on the range this morning at 320. There it is. And now we can confirm that Matt Wallace has got to 4 under par through 8. He leads the 152nd Open at Royal Troon.
On the tee. She's staring this one down, and for good reason. Look at this. Just delightfully done. She's on top of the world. Going directly at the hole. Tell you what, go on. Oh, get in there.
There's something about the AIG Women's Open.
Oh, my goodness.
We're back live at the range. It is Thursday. Play has started at the 152nd Open. And as you can see from the motion on that flag, the wind, as predicted, has picked up. Conditions are not amazing, nothing like the 3 days of practice. Souvenir hunters out there catching a last signature from a superstar. So it is pretty poor conditions. Nevertheless, the R&A this week have been working hard to improve accessibility for fans at the Open. George has been out there finding about a new addition, which is a purpose-built sensory trailer which offers a quiet space for anyone attending the event. Let's hear more about that.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We've made it off the golf course for a bit. We're trying to get a little bit of peace and quiet, a little bit of silence, a bit of downtime from the action out there. So we're in the spectator village, and the R&A have been working massively on accessibility at the Open and giving everyone a chance to get away from the course. And I've got Pete and Kate Shippey here, the two best people to talk about it, as we stand outside the Rhino Sensory Trailer. Now, for those at home, can you maybe explain what this is and how amazing this concept is?
It's just basically for those with sensory needs, just to come along, they can come and enjoy the sport. If they struggle with the atmosphere and things, it gives them like a safe space to go to sort of calm down, get nice and comfortable, and then go back and enjoy the day and enjoy the sport that they should be able to do. And it's just a great facility to add to what they've got here. It's fantastic what they're doing.
Nice. And can you tell us a little bit about your family story as well, because that's what's inspired this over the last decade, hasn't it?
It has, yes. Well, Nathan discovered a love of sport, a love of football in particular, and he was just desperate to go to the matches. So Peter took him, and so many problems, so many difficulties. He couldn't deal with the crowds, the noise. He really needed to be watching the match with nobody else in the stadium. So there was one night, wasn't it, we were just talking, and we thought, you know, he goes to a special school. The special school has a sensory room in it. Really, we could do with one of those in a stadium, regardless of to the sport. So that's where it all started from, wasn't it?
And so that's with the autism in particular, isn't it? So 3 boys.
Yeah, you just struggle with the atmosphere. The noise at the stadium light is huge. It's great there. It is in fact a fantastic stadium, and in there he just couldn't cope with it. So we sort of saw the problems he was having, and thought it wasn't fair if he wasn't able to go at the match.
And so tell us a little bit about this truck as well. It's such a unique concept, and it looks very relaxing in there.
Oh, it's great. That's it. The kids and things can go in there and just relax and have a bit of fun, play with the toys, and it's like they can get away from it and just relax and have a good time in there, and then come back and enjoy the sport again afterwards. It's a good environment for them. It's fun.
And so this one, normally you say you've got it in the stadiums, but how nice is it to have one out of the stadium and in a trailer? It just shows that these sensory stations can be anywhere, can't they?
Absolutely. I mean, in a situation as this one, on a golf course, of course, the crowds are moving at all times. It's not something that you can have in one particular place, but this is... It solves the difficulty where somebody can become overwhelmed at a part of the course. It's so easy access, it's so easy to get to. So it's wonderful, you know, it's every little step is perfect, really. You know, it helps so many families in so many ways.
Very nice. Well, if we look back at this camera, we can say our farewells. Guys, we'd just like to say thanks for putting on this. It's a cool experience and a nice place to take away. You must be really proud.
Oh, it's brilliant. Well done to Royal Troon and everybody involved. It's a great team effort over the years. I want to thank everyone in football. It's now in cricket, rugby. It's wonderful what they're doing here as well. So just thank you to everybody that's gone involved. They're all big team effort, all pulling in the right direction.
Nice. All right. Well, that's us from here. You guys will know where to find me if I'm not out on course. So back to you in the studio.
Yeah, wonderful addition. Want to have as many fans as possible. Yep, and a safe journey home, that is crucial. Enjoy the golf and return home safely. So, Wayne Riley in with me. We are live at the range. It's the quietest it's been. It is 10:30, which means that Harris English, Maverick McNeely and Alexander Bjork are just about to head out. Wayne, quite difficult conditions, not at all similar to the prep that they had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Not at all. Yeah, it's going to be totally different to the practice. I actually called it yesterday. I mean, it was bad preparation. You weren't ready for this. I mean, but we knew it was going to arrive, and it was going to eventuate to be this sort of weather. It was on the forecast. It's going to be just intermittent showers. It's just a little bit of wind. It's not going to blow a hoolie, because I've played Open Championships. I've played like 10 or 11 of them, and you know it's inevitable. You are going to get wet and battered, but I don't think that is going to happen this week. It's just mighty unpleasant. More so for the spectators. The players, they won't be really thinking about it. You won't walk around and whinge and whine and complain all day about the weather. It's more about just getting the job done and getting home, having a hot bath, and get ready tomorrow.
So there are our fans, and I'm sure George Harper Jr. has got something magical for us.
Well, the only thing magical is a hot bath with radar. I don't know about you, but that's got me a little bit excited.
No, I think we'll give that a miss, Georgie.
Fair enough, fair enough. But look, we've made it to the top of the range. This is where you guys have been watching Di and the team all week down here. So we get it. I wouldn't call it a bird's eye view, just maybe a little George eye view. So it gives us a little perspective. We went to the players' entrance at the start of the day, but now we can see it all. You can see how big this range is. They've had to extend it because obviously Big Bryson's come to the show. But one thing I noticed was when Rory was here moments ago, this was full, people everywhere, punters galore, but now they have run straight out on course. Absolutely crowded as anything out there. Now, I'm not sure you guys can see way in the background, the crashing waves. It is proper links, and you can see the fairways are now lined with fans because he is out on track. But this is quite a nice perspective, quite a nice view of everything and what the fan zone has to offer everyone here. Radar, there's a nice open arms bar over there, so we'll just try and keep you away from that for a little bit. Simon, what's for you? What have we got here? The Lynx Pavilion, keep you nice and warm. But then if you come around, and gents, you won't be able to feel it in the commentary box, but the wind is starting to pick up. And as we look at the 18th, the grandstand, the yellow scoreboard, the wind direction's actually humming down the 18th. The traditional wind is into the face. So today you might see a few more irons off the tee rather than the three-wood and driver we've been seeing a lot of in the warm-up. So a very new wind for a lot of these players, and the very treacherous and challenging back nine all of a sudden is not playing as hard because they have a gust firing in behind them.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much, George. It is really interesting conditions. I'm in with Wayne Riley. It is warmer in here, and good to see George getting thoroughly soaked. Brings everyone a little pleasure. He's like the Energizer Bunny. So, Wayne, take us through. We've sort of had a look at the front and the 10th hole. Difficulties of the 10th.
The 10th hole, yeah, it's a blind tee shot. Look, you hit up through that saddle, 2 bunkers there, only for the amateurs. These pros won't have a problem with that. The fairway cambers from left to right, and it's a dog leg from right to left. So it sits across you, this fairway. Can't see any of the fairway. Depending on the wind, which today it should be down out of the left. And look, that camber from left to right. The right rough over there is going to be a popular spot over there, just of the bailout. Not a bunker, fairway bunker in sight. And then there's an elevation change once more up to a green that's pretty circular. But if you're in the rough, this comes into play, this cross mounding right here. So you need to lay up short of it. And look, you can see the green up there. It is circular, it is long, but it isn't wide. And do not miss it right or left.
The 11th, probably the hardest hole, certainly the hardest tee shot. It's totally blind. That bank of gorse completely blocks you. There is the little runway there that you can see the walk through. Out of bounds all the way up the right. And I just think it's a very awkward shot for a right-hander in particular, because there's a forest of gorse there. And you want to sort of aim at that typically and fade it back into the fairway. Be interesting to see how many guys go with an iron there, but an iron leaves you a very long second shot. This is 498 yards and really starts the test that is the close of play over on the sort of the back nine at Royal Troon. That bunker is difficult. It's a very popular spot if you've left yourself too far back.
5 paces, or 3 or 4 paces just off the green. 12, fantastic hole. A dogleg from left to right. The rough is thick down the left and it is thick down the right-hand side. Just an iron, it's downhill all the way in the camber of the fairway. Over on the right, kicks right, and over on the left, it kicks left. So it's one of those that's difficult to find, this fairway. And the gorse, if you want to get too aggressive off the tee, you don't want to go in there, especially if you are wearing a kilt. It's just a wedge or a 9-iron, and you've got a bunker short left right there, just over there on the left-hand side. In 1899, Mark Kakavecchia slam-dunked one straight into the hole on his way to victory in a playoff with Wayne Grady and Greg Norman.
So, little bit of dreak weather. Anyway, earlier in the week, we had the excitement. Bryson DeChambeau, the US Open champ, had landed, and he caught up with Nick Doherty in Sky Open Zone.
Now, one of the things that I think we all greatly enjoy in particular about you is that we're always learning. And actually, your fellow professionals, including myself, who've been around this game for a long time, you say and do things that I haven't heard before, and then you go and look into it and learn more. And every day's a learning day for us with you, Bryson. You really are moving the needle in that regard.
I'm trying to learn every single day as well. I mean, there's not one day that I'm not thinking with Dana about like what ground reaction forces, how I can feel like I'm more consistent, less deviation, controlling club path, face angle, all that sort of stuff more consistently. How do I make it easier to hit the golf ball so I can just get up there, have a number, swing it, and have it go right down the middle of the fairway? That's my goal. I know I make things complicated, but I literally try to just make it as simple as possible at the end of the day. But it has to start complex at some point.
Well, Dana, that's what's really quite interesting here as well, because Bryson's talking about the first part. Some people who may be a little bit newer to the sport might think you've lost me. You've lost me. But the end result is so that you can just free it up and send it.
Yeah.
Let's have a little look, because Sportsbox AI is something you guys use together in particular to help you with your game. We've actually got something that we can bring you here. Dana, I'm going to get your take on this as the coach as well. How do you use this technology?
Well, as you can see, we have 3 numbers that we pulled up. We're simplifying the whole system for Bryson so he can do the same thing every time. So right here, we're looking at his rotation, going into his backswing.
Chest turn, right?
Yep, his chest turn.
Send it back for you. Stop it. Club parallel to the ground if I can.
Yes, that'd be perfect. Keep going. Right there. So you can also see his pelvis sway. And for, I think, people at home, you have to have a little bit of sway in your golf swing.
And minus is going
to the right. To the right.
Yeah. For right-handed golfers, going back to your right foot.
So he's going to push away from there.
So I go away, but then quite quickly, I'm already doing what?
Recentering.
Recentering. So I went from 0.9 already back to 0.5, which is very minimal, but you can already start to see that there's a shift more towards the left-hand side. So what it really feels like is it's like this rocking the boat sort of thing. I don't know if you've ever seen Kyle Berkshire hit some shots. He kind of does that. Obviously, it's the back and forth, and then he goes. But for me, it's a sequencing of actually I'm going up off the ground, and I actually just fall to the left. I go fall to the left and let everything come from the inside.
Wow. Okay, let's send you on down into impact. I have questions, obviously, Bryson.
Absolutely.
I have many questions coming into my mind as we do this. There you go. Oh, did it? Nailed it at impact.
Pretty impressive.
That was pretty good.
That was impressive.
So when we see these numbers, and you're talking about amounts, they sound tiny. But for you, is this give you a blueprint? Do you use this for a blueprint for when you're happy with your swing?
Exactly. So we look at it when I'm hitting it really good, see the numbers, save those in a data file base, and then we go when I'm hitting it bad, I have those, we average, well, don't average them out, but we take those bad swings, we essentially correlate when I'm hitting it good to when I'm hitting it bad, what numbers are deviating most, what numbers are changing the most. And these are the things that we see the most. There's a high correlation to pelvis sway. What was the other one? It was lift. There's some lift, but there's also, what was it? Sway gap. Yeah, sway gap's the other one that we look at, seeing how much difference there is between my hips and my chest. So essentially, I know this is kind of weird, but I can like do that. So that's not side bend, that's actually sway gap. That's the difference between my pelvis and my shoulders. Essentially, if you drew a straight line from the midline all the way up, that's like 2-3 inches over to the right, and you can do the same thing on the left side. So it's just getting that vertebrae to like literally shift the sideways. I'm not recommending anybody do that, but we're just measuring that to see the difference between side bend and sway gap in my golf swing. And usually when I'm hitting it really good, I've got a bit of sway gap. but it's not like forced. I'm not forcing any of these numbers. It's literally trying to be as athletic as possible. And that's the thing that confuses a lot of people is that, yes, I talk a lot. Yes, I say these big words. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to be athletic. When I get that conceptually in my head, from a theory perspective, on how we're all talking, and go, it's just fall more left.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
That's a simple thing.
That's how it gets to that. But it has to go through the macro version of how does this work holistically? How, from a theory perspective, does it all fit to make it make sense? And how does it relate to my feel? And once I get to a certain point where I can feel it, then boom, it lines up and hit it good, and I'm good to go.
Your passion for the game when you play it is obvious to see. It's also there to see when you're talking about the golf swing. Dana, how much of a challenge is it keeping his curious brain from wanting to go down avenues?
It's not hard when it's organized. Yeah. That's the whole point. Yeah. Like if we're organized, the team's organized, he's an athlete, and he can play like that.
And I just go. And that's the funny thing about it. Sometimes my brain gets disorganized. I'm like, what is it? Is it this? Is it that? Is it this? Is it that? Right? And then eventually we go through the process of figuring it out. And that's really the cool part about it, the fun part about it. The process is awesome, but once you figure out what it actually is, what numbers or what feel is making me hit it good, that's where I get the greatest satisfaction out of the game of golf, for me personally. Winning's fantastic, that's in its league of its own. But for me personally, when I'm striking the ball well, there's no greater satisfaction of going, I feel this, and it does exactly what it should do.
Okay. Well, we've seen the numbers. Should we go onto the mat and hit one?
Yeah.
Should we do that? Obviously, we want to see you hit driver, obviously.
Okay.
But before we do, can I just get you to talk me through, because again, we're all well aware of the what we've been talking about with the irons, what you've been doing. Can you just give me an idea about what is different about these heads then than what you've done?
So, like on a driver face, there's curve, right?
Yeah.
See the curve?
Yeah.
Heels pointed left, toes pointed right. And
yeah.
for the fans at home, they could see this. The heels pointed left and the toes pointed right. If you put just a straight line off of the toe, it'd go right, heel, go left. Center is going to be straight. So there's what we call curvature on the face.
Yeah.
And so I took that same sort of theory and thought process, because I swing it decently fast. I applied it to the irons as well. So you can, it's fractional. You can't really see it as well. But that's because it's progressive based on the MOI of the club, based on the way how we built it and what ball speed's coming off. There's a certain curvature for that face that works for my ball speed. Now, this will not work for amateurs. This is not something that I would use for lower swing speed players.
Right.
If you're an amateur and you have fast swing speed, then yes, it does work. But I'm not saying all amateurs are slow, by the way.
Yeah.
But if you look at that, you can see the toe.
You can see it, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I won with the curved face iron.
Yeah.
So that's I just think it's the craziest thing ever. But no, this is what's really cool about it, is that when I hit it on the toe, it starts farther right, and the heel starts farther left. Now, there's a reason why we have curve on the face. You hit it on the toe. What normally happens when you hit it on the toe?
Yes.
Ball flight draws, right? The heel, when you hit on the heel, it starts left and cuts to the right. So for my speed, when I started getting a lot of speed, when I hit it 10 millimeters on the toe, when I hit it on the toe, it started to overhook for me, and the heel started to overcut. And so we've created geometry on the face, all of the irons. We've created geometry on the iron faces to where when I hit on the toe and hit on the heel, they start farther offline, but they fall
back
on my
center.
target line, back to center. They don't overcurve.
Yeah.
And so that's why we built it, is essentially to give my miss hits to go straighter, help my miss hits go straighter. That's the biggest key.
From everything that we're looking at, from what you're explaining, from the fact I'm holding on to this cricket bat of a grip here,
yeah.
You must have, across your entire life, had people constantly going, scoffing at what you're saying, like, oh, have you heard what he's trying now?
Yeah.
How did you manage to separate yourself and stay true to your path and what your beliefs were, Bryson? Because it is one of your great strengths. It's what separated you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think a lot of that was growing up in a environment where people kept telling me, no, this isn't going to work. And I said, okay. But then when I'd go try it, I'd experience something different from what other people said was going to happen. So it was based on my own personal experience that I started to question the normal processes of golf and whatnot. And it doesn't mean that everything's wrong. I'm not saying that one bit. If anything, what technology has done for the game is unbelievable and it's fascinating. I just go to the next level of it and I try to get to the nitty gritty and really find out what works especially well for me.
Yeah.
So I've had a lot of blockades over the course of my career, but as time has gone on, I've truly gotten to a place where I'm comfortable with questioning it, knowing when it doesn't work and going, okay, yeah, that's wrong, and then knowing when there's something special that we figured out. And I think that's a cool thing that I'll continue to display over the course of my career, is just trying to figure out how to make it easier for the average golfer to play better. This is something that will, down the road, the curved face stuff will help golfers all around the world, but depending on their speed. And it's got to be fit to the face.
Well, if you don't mind, all those people, all those amateur golfers and myself, we'd like to come along for a ride with you on the open zone mat here. If we can. There you go.
I'll go straight to driver. I'm 30 now. I'm not 21 as I once was, but.
Dana, we're coming into your world here as well. Look, it's really easy for me to just want to talk about, like, just send it as far as you possibly can for us here, Bryson. But it feels like in recent times, there's been a case of he has this wonderful skill set that you've earned, Bryson, but you use it with responsibility, though, because that was certainly, it feels like you've got way more in the tank than you allow out generally most weeks when you're playing.
Yeah, absolutely. I try not to go after it. One, because I can't get this freaking, there we go. One, because it's not really worth it. Once you get to a certain point, distance really doesn't help as much on certain golf courses because it gets too tight and there's hazards around the green and actually becomes more difficult to spin it. Sometimes when you get to like 40, 50 yards out, it's tough to spin it on these greens.
Yeah.
And so I've realized that you can use it in certain situations, and it's a question of, do I hit it 40 yards farther? Do I try to get 40 more yards, or do I, stay where I'm at? And I think staying where I'm at is just fine. But let me see what I got here. This platform's moving. Is that all right?
I think we'll be all right. Hopefully it'll stay up.
I move a lot, though. See, I did not move. No, it moved. Yeah. I'm not gonna hit that. Let me find a different place.
Is that a bit more stable?
I don't. It's moving. Whenever I move, it's gonna do it. I tell you
what. Should we get you to hit an iron off there for us as well? There's too much in the.
That's probably a good idea.
Perfect. Well, let's do that, because the last thing we want to do is damage anything.
Well, I tried to barely. I didn't even want to hit it.
What should we do? Should we play a bit of...
Can I go right here? Can I
do it. Can we do that? Can we head down there? Come on, we'll go down on the grass. We won't get a top tracer, but at least we'll get to see you with it.
Yeah, you're the caution.
Let's get down there. All right.
Sorry about that.
Beautiful.
I literally, as I saw, I was like, oh, don't hit it. I almost got to stop
I get that. I get that. Here we go. This is better.
All right, here we go.
Wow, it's pure as the driven
nice
snow.
there.
That, yeah. What can we learn from Bryson's way that he generates this power, this inordinate power that we can apply to our game?
Yeah, so he applies a really good vertical and lowering piece. So when we were looking at that,
tell him what it means by vertical.
So vertical force is basically up and down. So when you look at a vertical, it could be going down, could be going up.
Right.
So he's producing an up and he's producing a down, and the down's happening before he gets to the top.
Right. So the sequencing's really good.
Very
sequencing,
important.
yeah. So let me talk about that. So the times where I get in trouble is when I get up, but I stay back on the right-hand side. So there we go. So I'll get up and I'll stay too far on the right-hand side, and I won't get to the left side. I won't move my weight over, and it's like I'm falling.
Yeah.
Right. If I don't get to the left side quick enough, I'll stay on the right side and I'll start to spin. I'll start to turn.
Yeah.
And I'll literally start swinging over the top, and that's when I get the cut, the high right shot, and everything like that. But if I fall, I can then let the club come from the inside and push up and around.
And is that classic sort of loaded into the ground, so then that feel like forced up away from it? Yeah, that's what we hear all the time with you guys when you shift it, right?
Yep. So it's more of a, so I'll swing it out to the right here. Up, down, and around. That's the way I feel it.
I mean, there's one thing to admire how far he's hitting that. These are all going through the same window as well. 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
What's just before we let you go, Bryson, what's the time for you when you're with your driver for how you work on certain courses with the accuracy? Because when the ball's travelling that far, to actually find fairways is tough. That's a long way away from us where this is finishing.
Oh, yeah. It's 330 yards, and a lot of the times it's not even imagining what's out there. It's just trying to stay in my own little bubble and repeat my motion.
Right.
I'm only trying to feel and sense what makes this thing come out of the same window and have the same draw every single time. So I'm not trying to hit a cut. I'm not trying to hit a bigger draw. I'm not trying to do anything other than make the same motion every time. If I can master or get close to mastering one swing, I'd rather just use that for the rest of my life. Make it easy.
Is there something that you would apply in links conditions, whether into the wind or maybe downwind, if you're really trying to stretch one out there? Say that sixth hole at 623 this week.
Yeah, like I'll give you a fast swing here for fun. Even 17, if there's no wind or no, 16, the par
16,
5, yeah, 16. I'll try to blast it over that little.
No, over it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's only 315. It's not that bad.
It's only 315. Okay.
Here, I'll give you the hard swing. That's pumped.
Do you not get worried the fact that it disappears from sight at sort of 300 yards? Do you not worry about where it might have gone?
Squinting, I can't see it
It
out there.
just disappears from sight. We'll finish one more.
Does. Here, I'll give you a good one here. So I'm going to throw. So another thing that I do is I try to hit massive draws when I'm hitting it not my best. So I'll try to swing inside out a lot more. There we go. And see how it has a bigger draw there?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to accomplish. When I'm my most comfortable, I can do that every single time.
Right.
When I get uncomfortable out there, I just go, okay, swing more inside out, and the club just flows through, turns around the corner, draws, and it's not like I'm forcing anything. I'm never forcing. I'm letting passive torque. Gosh, dang it, that's such a difficult thing to say to the public because I don't think they're going to understand what passive torque is. But what I mean is just be athletic. Feel like the club's just naturally turning over without you manually doing anything. Let the club just flow and close. That's what I mean by passive torque.
The alienation with the language perhaps absolutely doesn't reflect what you've done in a real sense with the public. We saw that at the US Open. I don't think we've ever seen anyone engage outside the ropes as much in major championship pressure as you did right there. What do you get from that, though, Bryson?
Well, I feel a lot of love and support. I mean, it just allows me to be comfortable out there. When I feel like everybody's out there rooting and cheering you on, you just kind of sit back and go, this is really cool. And you get more comfortable. And what's funny is I feel like, man, if you use the crowd in a positive way and you engage with them, they're just going to love you more. And that's what I like doing because it only makes me feel good. The inspiration is one of the biggest things that I love doing, and especially as I've gotten older and matured a little bit, it's amazing to see the response from people, and those little kids light up when you sign an autograph and stuff like that. I mean, that's what it's about. I'm not going to be here forever, so might as well make a good impact.
That's not just a US thing either. They're going to love watching you perform this week. Dana, Bryson, thank you so much for all the time you've given us. Appreciate it. Thank you. Well done. Thanks, Dana. Thank you. Follow, mate. Thanks, pal. Appreciate it. It's awesome.
Sorry about that.
Follow the 152nd Open in unrivaled detail on theopen.com and the Open app. Go behind the scenes with Live at the Range in partnership with HSBC from Monday to Friday of Open Week. Track every shot hit at the championship and get real-time statistics with ShotView, powered by NTT data. Get minute-by-minute coverage and expert analysis on the go with the Open Radio. Follow featured groups in partnership with Rolex throughout each day of the championship, and soak up all the action at the stunning fifth hole and the iconic postage stamp with the Par 3 channel. All streams live on RNA TV and the Open app, with a host of other content across the Open's social channels. Get closer to the Open wherever you are.
Well, we've seen a few birdies, but not enough eagles for my liking. So we've come to meet Davey and Betsy. Davey, thanks for your time. How's Betsy going? Looks a little bit cold, maybe, a little bit nervous.
So it's a wee bit of nerves. She's never been around crowds like this before, so we're just using her sparingly. We're trying to get her used to it a wee bit more, in the hope she'll settle down a wee bit for the end of the week.
Nice. And can you tell people at home what Betsy's role is here this week?
So we are just to keep the gulls away from the spectator areas. Obviously, with large amounts of people, there's obviously large amounts of food waste. So we want to keep the gulls away from it as much as possible, keep everybody from getting swooped on and their chips being stolen, basically. So she's been doing a good job so far.
Oh, great role. No one likes their chips being stolen. So how do you train an eagle to be good in this environment, you know?
So she's actually a falcon. But with most birds of prey, it's generally the basics are the same. We tweak it slightly for each different bird. So what we do is we give them a reduction in food initially while we're doing the initial manning process. What we then do is we offer food on the fist. They start eating from the fist, and we gradually increase the distance they want to come for it. With falcons, we then move on to a lure pad. Because they come in so fast, they can damage themselves sometimes if they hit the glove. So what we do is we introduce a lure, and basically the same principles. We want to increase the distance, and then as they're coming, we throw the lure up, they'll catch it, and that's when they get their reward.
So right now you could go, all right, Betsy, hooroo, go for a fly scare off the gulls and she'll come back?
Yep, basically, yeah. So she'll go off. Generally, they are pest control birds, so we used to deter gulls on landfills and waste transfer stations, so not quite as pretty as this, but,
yeah.
you know, so they would generally go off, chase the gulls away, and return when I'm swinging the lure around.
I also see you've got an apparatus in your hand there. Is that like a little blindfold just to calm her down?
This just calms them down. It stops any distractions. Obviously, with Betsy not being as used to the crowd as some of the other birds maybe, it stops any sort of visual
Alarming,
distractions.
yeah.
You know, sometimes they can get a wee bit stressed out if there's too many folk going around, too much distractions. So this just helps to stop all that visual input.
Looks like a Mexican wrestler. Looks fantastic. Is there any chance we can get Betsy in the air, or what's the...
So
do we have to wait for gulls for that?
No, normally what we would do is we would wait on the gulls coming in and we would put them up to deter them. With it being this big a crowd, it would be fine putting her up. Getting her back down might be a wee bit different. You know, obviously the crowd are constantly moving about, so trying to get a space big enough to bring her back down might be a wee bit risky. So we'll try not to fly her at the moment.
Well, much like on the course, we can't take too many risks. You know, you got to play safe golf here at the Open, and you know, and we can't take that on camera. We can't take that risk. All right, Davey, thank you very much for your time, mate. Very cool to see what you've been doing and meet Betsy. There we go. A bird of prey, a bird of fun, and a bird at the Open. We love it. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you, George. Thanks for that insight. I'm here with Rich Beam on the range again, and conditions don't seem to be improving at all. But the scores, let's have a look at some of the scores out on the course right now. Okay. And we've just seen, actually, because we were getting a cup of tea, that Matt Wallace, he had a 7 on the ninth hole. Yeah, he was doing so well, but he's got a birdie opportunity now.
Yeah, the conditions right now have completely changed from what they were earlier this week, where the winds were basically straight down on the front nine, and now they're kind of right back into them on the front nine. So back nine scoring could be a little bit better this afternoon. So Justin Thomas out there at 4 under par through 10. I believe he's made 3 birdies in a row at 8, 9, and 10 to get there, which is some pretty good golfing right there. So, you know, if you're going to make some birdies, it's going to be probably a little bit more on the back nine as of right now. But, you know, listen, it's tough for all these players right now.
Adam Scott, 2 under par with Justin. Great to see the Englishman Justin Rose doing well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's been putting a lot of time and effort into his game as of late. Alex Norn qualified late last week on Sunday with that final round. I believe it's 65. He's 1 under with 1 to play. So that could be, you know, pretty close to the, I mean, it'll be clubhouse lead currently, but by the end of the day, may not be too far off the overall lead.
No. Justin Thomas right at the top of the leaderboard at 4 under par. Always great to see your name at the top of the yellow scoreboards as you're walking around the Open Championship. The American will be certainly buoyed, and Americans, as we know, have had such success on this course in the past.
They have, and Justin's been, you know, a little bit hot and cold. He started off last week with a brilliant opening 62 and then just kind of faded away from there. So the game is there. It's just kind of getting it to remain there for the 4 days for him. But yeah, nice to see him out there playing well at the moment. And you know, it's such early doors, and guys out there right now battling.
Yeah, they certainly are, just checking out who's coming onto the range. But we'll be back in an hour and a half's time. We're going to grab some lunch, and we'll see you for Live at the Range in 90 minutes' time.